5, 6. We always wait till 10 seconds. And we are live. B Money Podcast, number 30. It's your host, me, B Money. And it is Thursday. And if you've looked at the B Money Podcast, you'll see that we have Thursday scheduled in now for Gibby. Gibby and B Money on Thursday. Write it down in your calendar if you really like to listen to Gibby. I know I do. So, what's up, Gibby? How you doing?
I am doing good. It's warmer here in Michigan today. It's not Arctic. The snow is starting to melt. The sun was out, so I think that's always a positive. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's the temperature out there? I'm gonna check it on Google. Hold on. Let's check Detroit. Detroit weather. I want to know. That's close enough.
Yeah.
Detroit weather, 38 degrees right now, but it was a high of 42 today. So you were like out there you were like sunbathing. You had your chair out and everything. Yeah. That's warm.
Yeah, I went out today, on those rare occurrences you can now, and I actually saw a person in shorts, and I felt like that's the big money move.
Yeah. That's the Michigan thing, though, isn't it? Like, spring comes, it's 45 degrees, and everyone's in shorts and a t-shirt. And they're like, I wonder why we get sick so much here in Michigan and in the north. I wonder why. Hey, when it's been like 7 degrees, 45 feels warm.
Yeah, it feels like, that Florida weather. Like, it feels like it's in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, the weather here is so good. I was outside today, and I was like, this is the best day ever. I was working and stuff, and I just forgot about everything. I walked outside, and there's all these, like, beautiful palm trees. We got all this bamboo, and I kind of, like, walked up, put my hand on the bamboo, and just like looked around. The sun was peeking through the bamboo. It was like 85 degrees. It was, it's like the perfect summer day in Michigan, only with like tropical foliage, And I was like, I forgot about work. I forgot about everything. And I was just like, this feels good. Yeah.
That is awesome. I went outside and watched the snow melt, and I was just excited to see that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
good.
oh, no four-wheel drive today.
Yeah.
So that's always...
So you left your house. So you've been in the house a lot for work. When's the last time you left your house from today? Was it like days ago? Is it like a few times a week you're leaving?
I had to leave today because I had to go... I know this is very exciting.
Yeah.
I had to go and deliver... one thing that happened during this time of Corona is that insurance companies like Humana and Blue Cross Blue Shield has given out more money to people who are part of their insurance. So they give out, which it's a $25 reusable card every month that people can buy healthy food with.
Damn,
so,
really? You're the second person to say this to me. My dad, I was over there watching Oak Island Tuesday, and he said the same thing. He's like, insurances are giving out these cards. He said the same thing, and I was like, really? Where the hell do I sign up for that? So you were delivering the cards.
Yes, so I got to go be the deliverer for that. So I did go pop around to different clients' apartments and homes. So I got to go out and see them. So I did get to go out for a couple hours today, which was good. But also I had to tell every single person because I haven't been vaccinated yet, and a lot of my clients have thankfully been. So they are trying. They kind of think after that point that they do like hug people and everything's kind of back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to avoid a lot of hugs and a lot of invitations to come in and hang out.
They were chasing you down trying to hug you. They wanted to hug.
Yeah. and I didn't bring a bubble suit, so I just did a wave. I was like, no, we're gonna hug, pretend. Like
That's funny.
So yeah, I did get out. One thing really crazy though about those cards, I will say, I'm sure no one cares about this. But
no, we do. I care. This is the second. I've heard it twice in 2 days or whatever since Tuesday night. This is the second time, and it's to the people that are the closest to me: my dad and my best friend Gibby. You're both telling me this, so that means it's in the stratosphere. I might be getting the card, so I need to know all I can. You keep telling me about it. Tell me more.
Well, hot thing about it, even though they say it's supposed to be used for healthy food, one of my clients told me today, and was like, oh, thank you, I buy all my soda with this. So there is no actually regulation on it and what they can spend it on.
Really?
So I was like, well, if you use it.
Now here's the first thing that comes to my mind when you say it can be used on anything. There's two things, okay? Now this is going to get really weird. So can they go to like Sky Mint or one of these dispensaries that sells marijuana foods, like they make the cookies and they put the weed? Because they could probably get a few cookies of marijuana with that card. Can you use it for that?
No, actually you can't. The cards are actually limited to what stores you can use it at. So,
oh, really? How did the Big Brother decide what stores you can freaking shop at? Now, if they decide what stores, you can't go to like the little convenience store in your little town and use it. What, do you got to go to a big box store?
You have to go to. So it varies. So it can be used at. Off the top of my head, it can be used at Walgreens, Rite Aid, Walmart. It cannot be used at Kroger, which I thought was a little odd.
So basically, most of the stores that have pharmacies.
And but it also can be used at like Family Dollar and Dollar Tree. So
what about Dollar
like
General? What about the DG, Dollar General? No?
Yes, it can.
Oh, it can. Okay.
Dollar General.
Okay, that was the question number one. Then question number two is, some of these stores sell like edible underwear and like sex foods and things. So like, could you use them to get like edible underwear? It's classified as a food. You know what I mean? Like, what can you use the card for? It sounds like you can buy anything. Can you buy edible underwear with the card?
I know it has to be labeled a food item, and you can't buy booze or cigarettes with it. So, or like you can't buy like, I'm trying to think of the odd things that are there. Like even though it is for Humana, you can't buy like over the counter. You can't buy like Tylenol with it or anything.
Can you buy candy cigarettes? Remember the candy cigarettes that you would get as a kid?
Bomb. Best thing ever.
Now, can you buy those with the $25 card?
Yeah. Are we? Candy.
Does everyone get the same like $25 card, or does some people get like $50?
All 25.
Okay.
Through Humana, it's all 25.
Humana, I need to check. I have Blue Cross. I really want Blue Cross to give me a card, and then I can go try. I'll try to buy the weirdest fucking things you've ever seen with it. True.
Well, Blue Cross Blue Shield actually gave out a different kind of card, so you should check into it. It's only for over-the-counter medications, and they gave out a card, and I think you can only do it 4 times a year, so it's quarterly, and I think it's $150.
What?
You get to go spend on prescription copays and like over-the-counter.
I need this card. Okay, I'm glad you're saying this, because all the millions and millions of people that potentially could hear this podcast, we know there's only like 30 people that listen. So, but there could be millions. It could be 1.6 to 2 million people that want to listen to this pod, because someone's gonna hear this of what you're saying and say, we need to share this. You can get a $150 card 4 times a year. Man, what could I buy with all that? That's a lot of money. That's $600 a year.
Yeah. So, and I only just got those cards those ones, so I haven't really, and I only have a couple clients who have Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I haven't really looked into a lot of that. But I do know Humana in December gave out $500 gift cards to all their clients. And that had to be used within a month, and it had to be used for quote-unquote medical things.
Yeah.
But I was able to, so I used a lot of them for people who had glasses. So, sometimes glasses are like $400, $500, and that covered it. Or a lot of clients who had huge dental bills and whatnot, who they weren't able to pay for it. So able to get them up to date dentures. And then also, for other people, I found out I was able to get heated blankets, first aid kits, masks, gloves, all of that with those cards. I even got there's massage, little back massagers even, and those kind of things. As long
back massagers?
Back massagers, yes.
You got people back massagers? Damn, that's what I would use my money on, back massager.
I did. I had and I will say one of my clients who's really cool, he makes his own race cars, and he soups up old wheelchairs, motorized wheelchairs.
Uh-huh.
He actually went and he got, with that money, because he didn't have any outstanding medical bills, he got a new wheelchair battery in order to soup up wheelchair.
Oh, it's like a Tesla wheelchair. It's super fast now, huh?
Yeah.
He's burning rubber. I wonder where he's going to get all the tires from burning those tires up with that souped up battery.
Well, we will see. We will see. Anytime I go visit him, it's always something new that he has built and made, and he's very, very creative.
You have floored me. You floored me. This is better than I could have imagined. I'm like, we're going to do a podcast. It's going to be, you and I have been talking about this for years, that we're going to have our own, where we have a podcast. So we'll do it once a week. But my goodness, you've already taught the whole world how to save all this money. Everyone's going to call their insurance now. And there's a lot of people out there in need. I'm going to tell everyone I know. Have you tried this? Did you ever hear about this? You can get a back massager. Yep. And some back massagers can be used to massage your neck or your arms or whatever,
Yep, it's pretty cool. If you have Medicare and you're listening and you want to have Humana or have it as an additional, they're really, really great about incentives. They even, if you get your physical and you do certain appointments that you need to do throughout the year, they'll send out random gift cards for that.
What do you ask them do you call and ask for this? Incentives, you call it, huh? Can we get some incentives? So when we call, because I'm going to call, what do I say? I'm going to be like, hey, Blue Cross, I really need some back massagers and some $50, $150 gift cards and some food cards. How do I get that?
I generally would call and just ask and said, I've heard about these benefits that are happening this year. I've heard about there's $150 cards, and I would like to see if that is covered under my plan, or if I can switch to that type of plan if it's something better for me and able to get these benefits.
Yeah, I wonder if you get it on Obamacare. Does Obamacare plans count?
Well, that's a majority of my clients are Medicaid, Medicare.
Well, damn. Okay, that's all Obamacare, baby. Okay. Man, I'm getting excited. I'm ready. Okay, we're shutting the pod off, and I'm going to go call Blue Cross right now. No, I'm kidding. Man, great information. Damn, I knew that we should do this podcast today. I'm excited. That's fantastic. I wonder, so more people should hear this, because, fuck. A lot of people could be saving some money and stuff and getting some good, and you said, as Gibby said, incentives. I don't know what incentivizes you, but it incentivizes me to get a back massager. If you hear a humming in the background of the next podcast, it's because I'm massaging my neck. Yeah, true.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can get tons of insurance stuff. This job is really, from working in this field, I've learned a lot of stuff. I mean, you can get, a lot of times if you ask, there's a lot of benefits and things that
And
no one ever talks to you about.
99.9% of people don't ask for anything. And that's something that, like, I taught Professor Bam, like, since we've been dating and stuff. I was like, we always ask, is there any discounts or is there any coupons or any specials going on? Is there any better deal that we could get on this? We always ask. And you'd be surprised, even on crazy stuff, like, we bought like this, we're pretty cheap, okay? But we spent money on this computer maybe like 10 years ago. It was like $800. And it was like the top of the line gaming computer. It was really nice. But we asked, what can you do? And pretty much they had one in the back that was a display. It was a display for a week. Something happened to it. We were able to fix the shell on the back. And I bought this computer that was like $879 and I got it for like $200. It's the same thing. It was a new computer and it was only a display for a week, and the back of it just had like a little scratch that I was like $20. I bought the new shell. And it's a new computer, we're still using it. You know. Yeah, that's my advice. Always ask. Is there any incentives that you can send me? Is that what I'm supposed to say, Gibby?
Yeah, I would say incentives or just additional benefits. What I usually say is, there any other kind of benefits or incentives or any additional services that are provided by the insurance?
Yeah, that's amazing. I know mine has like mine pays for like gym memberships. I know that. But who wants to fucking go to the gym? I don't. I got a gym at home. I don't want to leave the house.
So, Brian, I'm going to let you talk for a hot second.
Okay.
That hospital call that I told you was going to call just called, and I have to give consent for somebody having anesthesia.
Okay.
So it'll just like 2 minutes.
Put me on hold and go do your thing. Yep, and I got a couple things I was going to read,
what?
So I'll pull up an article, you go do your thing, and then I'll talk to you in a couple minutes.
Perfect.
Okay, so, man, it's great having Gibby on today. We learned so much. I can't wait to save all this money. I don't know about you guys. But I had a couple articles that I was reading that I wanted to do on the pod. So let me pull that up. Let's see. Oh, so I thought, man, a lot of these are crazy. A lot of these articles that I send to myself, I wonder, like I send them, I'm like in bed at night, and I'm like reading this stuff, and then I'm like, I should email this to myself and talk about it in the pod. And then I get to the pod, and whether I'm on with Rose or whomever, I look at this article. I think when I'm in bed at night, I'm not thinking straight, because this is some crazy shit. Some of these articles are just nuts. Okay. Here was one that's really interesting here in Florida. Here in Florida, NASA, it says, like a cloud is falling out of the sky, NASA images show rare fall streak holes over Florida. And I'm going to post this in the comments of the pod, but it's fucking crazy. It doesn't even look like real life. It looks like some made up thing, CGI. And I'm going to read it. It's from USA Today, published February 11th by Kimberly Miller of the Palm Beach Post, USA Today. West Palm Beach, Florida. I love West Palm Beach. NASA's Earth Observatory took note this week of an unusual phenomenon in the skies over South Florida that causes melon ball-like scoops to form in the clouds. They're called fall streak holes, also known as hole punch clouds, which were seen January 7th in satellite images from Indiantown through Miami, can punch clear through to show blue sky or be more opaque, but most often happen when Cirrocumulus or altocumulus clouds are present. Robert Melenda, warning coordination meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Miami, said his forecasters also noticed the fall streaks, as did a handful of NWS followers on social media, who asked for an explanation of the odd potholes in the sky. It seems to happen a few times a year when there are very high clouds that are thick or at least covering a large area, Melenda said. You need a special set of conditions. And there's some crazy pictures here. I can't wait to show these. But it's like not real. It looks like fake CGI of the sky. It can appear as if part of the cloud is falling out of the sky. Altocumulus and cirrocumulus clouds were present in Florida on January 7th, which provided the perfect conditions for fall streak holes to form. These clouds typically form on stable weather days as high as 20,000 feet in the atmosphere. For fall streak holes to form, supercooled water droplets must remain in liquid form in the clouds, even though they are surrounded by freezing temperatures. Water with few impurities, such as dust, pollution, or fungal spores, can remain a liquid at temperatures below 32 degrees. And man, you guys got to see this. It looks like rips in the sky or like the clouds coming down out of the sky. Okay, Melenda said super cooled water droplets can also be insulated by surface tension. But if the droplets are disturbed and the insulating surface breached, they can freeze into ice crystals that are too heavy to stay suspended in the air. Viewed from below, it can appear as if part of the cloud is falling out of the sky, wrote NASA Earth Observatory communications specialist Catherine Hansen in an online article. As it turns out, that is actually what happens. Wow, that's a lot of words just to say. This should really just say NASA confirms the clouds fell out of the sky. So the fucking clouds, you imagine looking up and there's a hole in the sky and it looks completely different than the rest of the sky. It looks like super blue. And then it looks like around the hole, the cloud just like drops down to the sky. It's really crazy. Okay, it's believed that planes, so our planes, 747s, planes can trigger fall streak holes to form if they fly through an area with supercooled water droplets, leaving a trail of water vapor, pollution, and aerosols. Those plane byproducts can introduce a nuclei or seed that causes the supercooled water to freeze to it. A domino effect may follow that spreads outward, forming a hole or oval, which is sometimes called a canal cloud. So it makes like a canal in the sky. The falling ice crystals can look like a rain cloud's downdraft, but they typically evaporate before they reach the ground. They aren't daily things, Melenda said about fall streaks. You need altocumulus or cirrocumulus clouds, and those aren't very common. Okay, so I got to remind myself, I got to put this in let's put this in right now. Let's save this. Okay, so I got to open it.
I think I'm back. I am back.
Hey, Gibby.
One thing I wonder about that. Yeah. So now, one thing I wonder about that, I was listening, is with a lot of people not traveling as much this year, if they've seen a decrease in it since there's not as many planes.
I don't know. Pretty crazy. I'm going to put it in the comments right now. I got to go find the video. Pretty crazy. If you get a chance after the pod, or whoever's listening to the pod, any of the friends of the B Money podcast, definitely go to this link. I know I say, oh, I'm going to put the link in the comments, but this one is pretty crazy. So you really, really should check it out. Let's see, history. Channel.
Yeah, it sounds I think it's really interesting. I think there's so many things that we can learn about our world and that we still don't know about. I think there's so many unexplored things that we just don't know that are just fascinating.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, that was something like, it caught my attention there. I just put it in. Okay, so it definitely, okay, I'm going to do my quote. You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention. And no one knows what I'm saying. They're just like, this guy's insane. You know? Do you know what that's from? You had my curiosity?
I do not. What movie? Is that from a movie?
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Here.
What era?
Hold on. I'm playing it right here.
Gentlemen, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
It's from Django. Do you know what Django is?
His old band.
Django Unchained.
Yeah.
It's a Leonardo DiCaprio line. He says, "You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention." Yeah, I like that line.
Yeah. I think isn't that it's like one of the movies that uses the F word the most as well.
It might. I don't know. You know what? Quentin Tarantino movies always said the F word, like crazy amounts. I try to count. What was the movie? Was it Kill Bill? Or was it... No. It was, what's the other one I always reference? Fuck! Name some Tarantino movies. My mind went blank.
Pulp Fiction?
That's the one. Okay, Pulp Fiction has the most fucks. I lost track. I was a kid. It was when it came out. I think I was in 7th grade. Something like that. I was a kid. And I got it on tape. My uncle worked for a landfill, and the Blockbuster videos that would run through the tapes only so many times, and then they would throw them all away at a certain set point because I guess they just didn't want to deal with them after so many plays because then they break or whatever. So he brought them home. So we got the dumpster tapes. So we had all the fucking movies. Okay, really cool. I'll have to tell him more on that later. But I had Pulp Fiction. We watched it, and I had a pen, and I was doing like how you do like the 4 lines and then the 1 line across for 5. How you would count. I could not keep track. Yeah. The fucks came so fast and furious. I just was like, this is the most fucks ever, and I cannot keep track of this. My hand cannot move fast enough. Yeah. Yep. That's a good observation, Gibby.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're back. Is everything okay? Did you get...
Quentin did that Nazi movie, too, right?
Nazi movie. Which, Tarantino, was it Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Inglourious Bastards. That's such a great movie. Such a great movie. Brad Pitt. Do you like Brad Pitt?
I like Brad Pitt.
What's your favorite Brad Pitt? Like, what does Brad Pitt speak to you? Like, when you think Brad Pitt, what picture comes to mind in your head? What do you see? Brad Pitt.
Wow, I would say 11.
Ocean's 11. So he's all clean cut. He's got a short haircut. He's kind of tan. He's got that killer smile, and he's got on a tie and a suit. Am I saying it right?
That's really good. Or I'd go old school and go Thelma and Louise.
Okay.
That's such a good movie.
He's like 18 years old, skinny, kind of a little bit longer hair. He looks like he might smell like cat piss or something because he's a little dirty, but he's handsome.
Yeah, like he lives in the can. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he probably sells weed out the side.
He does, for sure. He sells weed. He lives behind the gas station. We don't know where. Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Already this podcast is very interesting. This has been an interesting podcast. And just so people know, Gibby is very important. She has to go, even in the middle of the night, she's got to go and do things and make huge decisions for people. People count on Gibby, life or death sometimes. So if she says when we do this on every Thursday, If she's got to go for a minute, we're just going to pull up an article just like I did, and I'm just going to read from something that I have in my bag of tricks. Or I'll tell a story. Or I'll sit here and laugh to myself. Okay.
Yeah, it's not I'm not that important every single day. It's just on the occasion. And I am on call because we do that where we shift every week where I have 24 hours where I'm on call for any kind of emergency.
Yeah.
So if somebody passes or needs an okay for surgery and whatnot, I have to be available to for those calls.
Yeah.
So it sounds a lot crazier than it is, but I enjoy my job and helping people.
Well, thank you for your service, Gibby. Gibby, thank you for your service. You're serving our country in your position. You truly are. You're serving the elderly. You're serving people that are forgotten, people that not everybody thinks about. So, and you're helping them. Man, you just helped anyone that listens to this podcast. And there's a lot of people that are like, they're trying to figure out how they can make their life work. And you said so many good tips of just giving a call to your health insurance. Man, who can't use one of those things? This has been like a plethora of information. I think I get 50 points for using plethora. Plethora of information. Thank you.
That is a good vocabulary word that we could probably do a vocabulary word of the podcast.
Yeah. Yep, amazing. I can speak. I could barely read if you heard me reading the thing, but it was interesting. And if you get a chance, everybody, again, I'm going to say, go look at the fucking holes in the sky where the clouds drop down to Earth. It's very interesting. Yep.
This is crazy.
So, what were we talking? We were talking about something before you went. It doesn't matter. What we're doing here, there's no format. We don't have to do anything. We just, if Gibby and I, we talk at least a few times a week, and we have for many years. There was a long period of time where we didn't. We were friends 20 years ago, right? And then there was a huge stretch where we didn't talk. But when was it? About 5 years ago? We started talking like pretty frequently. Again.
Yeah, I would say that's probably 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now we're best friends. It's just kind of one of those things where we pick back up and we have conflicting views about certain things, but we also treat each other with respect on our views. We get mad at each other sometimes.
I think we don't. I think we don't have that conflicting views, though. I think we're agreeing on most things. I think that we probably agree on at least 80% of things.
Yeah, we're not like complete opposites where...
Okay, you and my dad went to the same college, so we're all the same. I probably don't want to give out that info, but I'm just going to say that we're all kind of... We are from the same cloth, in a way. We're from the same area. We're from little towns. We are, you are from like an upscale, like white collar where you had like golf lessons and like the Rolls Royce would drive you there, and you have the Birkenstock shoes and like the $1,000 coats and stuff. That's the only difference. Where I like grew up on a dairy farm. I didn't even have shoes. I was like walking in the cow shit with bare feet, working on the dairy farm. I worked on the farm. I did. And you were like, I was like the servant. So like when I say from the same cloth, your cloth is from very high up on the shirt and mine is down by the asshole. You know what I'm saying? On the back of the shirt. So it's the same cloth. When I say we're cut from the same cloth, but like you're much higher class than me. That's all I'm trying to get at. You're a very high class person. I'm more of like a country folk. Like a farmer, You're like a city girl, and I'm like a country boy,
Yeah, we can kind of frame it like that in a way. But, we both lived in small towns I live in a small town now,
But the difference is when I moved to the small town, I left the fucking wilderness where it was like 50 miles to the next store. Yeah. So to me, that was like the big city. Now I look at it and say, oh, I grew up in a small town right next to Gibby in the small town. At that time, when I was 15 and my dad brought me there, we were like, we're in Detroit. We live in Detroit. That's what we told our friends. We moved to the big city. There's a McDonald's and lights. There's lights on the street and stuff.
It's like, wait, there's not a crosswalk just for animals? Like, what's happening?
Uh-huh. For sure. Yeah. And now I go back and I'm like, oh, this is a tiny little town, and where you're at, even you live in one of the best places in the whole country. We're not going to say where. We're just going to say it's a very small, quaint little town. There's only one thing. One thing I didn't like about it was that sewer water smell or whatever it was. What's it called? The water has a certain thing to it. What is it?
Sulfur water.
Sulfur water. Yep, that's the only thing. But you can fix that. You can get water softeners. You can get all kinds of things. You know, I would rather have sulfur water than like really city water. I don't really like. I had that in Philly. I hated it. I would rather have sulfur water than that.
Yeah. So not to disclose. So where in my house that I live in now, I have to have water softener. So actually, that was another big excitement today. He comes every month to do my water softener, and he comes once a month to come in. So I have to have a water tank of the softener down in my basement, and they have to come every month and fill that.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, and
weird that I said this to you. Isn't it weird? Almost like I'm psychic.
You just know some things sometimes.
You do. Just like yesterday, I was thinking about a friend of mine. Let me tell you this quick story. Speaking of this, I was cooking something. It was like what the hell is it called? Michelangelo's. It's a frozen Italian meal, but I'm recommending right now. They don't sponsor the show. Who cares? They should. These are the fucking best. If you want like homemade Italian, it's like some old Italian, like the greatest old Italian cook made this, and they froze it. It ain't like regular frozen foods. You put it in the oven, you cook it, you're like, holy shit, did I just come back from the best Italian restaurant? It's called Michelangelo's. You can get it at Kroger, Walmart, Target, wherever. So I'm cooking this Michelangelo's, and I'm like, man, this thing looks so good. And I was like reading the box. And I start reading where it's made, and it's made in Austin, Texas. And immediately I started thinking about one of my greatest friends was on the national wrestling team with me, Team USA, and he was like a phenom, and his name's the same as mine. And we just so happened to like sit together on the plane. We were like flying out to Oklahoma or someplace. We were always traveling together on Team USA. And just seeing the name Austin, Texas, and I know he's there. I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking all these things. All of a sudden, out of the blue, he texts me. And we haven't talked in forever. And I believe stuff like that happens. And I believe it happens. I feel like things are connected. There must be some kind of connection for that to happen. Just like water softener. Isn't that weird? I just mentioned your water, and then you're like, oh, actually today. Oh, that's a coincidence. How many times is it a coincidence? That's a coincidence. I was just thinking about you. And I do it with you sometimes. I'm like, I'm thinking of you or thinking about something, and then like, you'll call me. Seriously. All the time. I mean, many times this has happened. And it happens with others. Like, I'll be thinking about my grandmother or whatever, and then my grandmother calls. So, pretty weird. You ever have anything like that happen to you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that. I mean, again, with you, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, I feel like I really need to call and check in and see how he's doing. Or I'm like, I saw something really weird today, or something odd, or something funny that I have to share.
And then B Money.
I know that.
And then B Money drops in on a text or a call.
Yeah, that B Money would really like to hear. And and I have, I have that same, like with family members, like, one thing, like I found like a weird tchotchke in the house, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, I know exactly who would like that, because I'm also trying to, I'm really into like a decluttering stage, because I think sometimes we hold on to things for too long, not like a whole spark your joy and you have to get rid of everything, but I think sometimes if we see something and we know it could bring joy to somebody else in our lives, that we should, pass that on.
That's a great idea.
I was thinking about, and I saw this item, and I was like, you know what? I think one of my cousins would really like this, and it's just sitting here in this closet. I'm not having any use for it. And I called them, and they're like, I was literally thinking about you today. And I was like, well, it's one of those kismet, just things in the world. I think we are all interconnected that way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's interesting. The more things that happen, the weirder it gets. Here's a little story. So Professor Bam and I get Chinese food, and we're having the same kind of talk like how you and I are right now. Because these things just happen, and it's like, this is so weird how I'm think of you, and then you think of me at the same time, and then you call me. So, like, and I'm telling her, you gotta manage your thoughts, keep your thoughts, even though you can, like, go down this negative path, you gotta stay positive. Even if it's bad, start telling yourself the other thing. Start, like, tricking your mind, like, manage your thoughts. Because your thoughts create your reality and all these things. And we're going down this conversation. And I'm like, and there are no coincidences. Okay? And then at that moment, I open this fortune cookie and I break it. And I always take the first bite before I look. Okay? That's like my superstition. I feel like I have to take the bite and then look at the piece of paper, and then it's meant for me. So I took the bite, and then I flipped it and looked at the piece of paper, and it said, there are coincidences. And I said, there are no coincidences to Professor Bam. And it just said, there are coincidences, period. The fortune cookie was talking to me, okay? And we laughed just like you're laughing. We laughed so hard. We could not believe it. We laughed till our faces were red. And it's a story to tell. Because I was like, you remember, I said it, there's no coincidence. Nothing is a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. And then I opened the thing, and it's like, there are coincidences. Which means because the fortune cookie's arguing with me, that means there's no coincidences. Or it means something. I don't know. It's crazy, though.
I think it means that the cookie was talking to you.
Yeah. The fortune cookie argued with me. Everybody hates me. Even the fortune cookie.
The cookie is like, be money.
Yeah.
There you go.
So well, I feel like there could be a chance where less people hate me soon. I'm hoping. Because it did feel like a lot of people hated me for a while. So I've gone through my life, and I've been a person where I've had a lot of friends. And I'm good to people, and I love my friends, and I'm good to everybody. I don't fucking harm people. But with politics and stuff, and everyone notices it. It's not just me or anyone. But, like, there's been such a divide and such a, I don't know, just like some people hate this guy, some people hate this girl, or vice versa, and then they hate each other. And so, like, I'm hoping, like how you were like, oh, we have our differences. I think we have more things alike. We have so many things alike. And I feel like all these friends of mine that didn't want to talk to me for supporting someone they didn't or whatever, maybe that'll go by the wayside in the next few years. What do you think about that?
I hope so. I try to be pretty positive about that. And I think that we all have to, at some point, realize it's okay to have different views. It's okay. It's healthy. And not everyone is going to agree at one point what your friend says or what your family member says. But to judge someone based on one viewpoint or one idea, it's not healthy.
Or 1 4-year presidential term of someone that you hated, that they liked, and then at the end of it, it's like a bomb went off, and like you had 5,000 friends, then you had 80, and then they decided to delete your account off social media because you said the wrong thing. So hopefully we can come back from all this and just be loving each other and friends, you know. That's what I'm
I was
hoping.
kind of hoping that the pandemic would help people more with that. But I think sometimes it's kind of gone the opposite direction because more people are at home and are more online. So reading more different articles, getting more upset about different things. So I think it's kind of like a hairy kind of situation on that.
Yeah.
But
I think there's a lot of, I think these news organizations are like, on both sides. They share the things that are going to be the most crazy. Like they're going to get people to click, right? Because they got to make their money. And that's sad because then it like drives, it's going to go farther both ways in wings out. One goes farther out to the right, one goes farther out to the left, because that gets you to click. If it's boring, people aren't going to click it. But a lot of times life is boring. You know what my favorite thing about the most popular president ever right now is? That he's fucking boring. Here, let me say some positive. I like that I don't go onto the news and see 50,000 stories about our president right now. Okay? Very good. I like that. I just want boring sometimes. There's so many other fucking things going on in the world. You know, crazy shit going on. I just want boring. Is that bad of me that I like boring? What do you think about that?
no, I absolutely like boring. I like this. I like that exactly the same too. I don't have to sit there and think. I'm like, what am I going to read in the news today about like our president? And that I really do like the boring aspect. I like the fact that it was a huge thing about somebody talking about the dogs in the White House and how the dog is old and doesn't look quote unquote like a presidential dog.
Yeah.
And that was like a news story.
Yeah. That's boring. I like dogs too. That's the other thing. You got me you had me with the word dogs.
Yeah. And I think, we are an animal-friendly podcast. So
We could call this the dog cast. That's how much we love dogs. Gibby loves dogs. She's got a dog. That's her life. And I love dogs. And I was just cleaning dog shit before the pod. Yeah, I took a shower and everything, and I came down to my little elder dog, my little Chihuahua. You know what it is she's comfortable. She has this little, like crated off, not crated, but like she has like a baby gate type situation now. She was in this little tiny cage, and I was like, that's no good, Professor Bam. She hates it. I could just feel it. I can communicate with her through some other way. And I'm like, she just hates this little cage. I said, we got to get something bigger. But I really feel that she feels like she's elder. She feels safe, and she goes in the corner and shits in her like area. And it's on a pee pad, so I can like scrunch it up and take care of it. And I'm not mad at her, but I'm just cleaning dog shit. That's the true love of life. When you love someone so much that you'll clean their shit, and I don't think nothing of it. Yep.
Yeah, and I will say when it was in like below zero temperatures here, and because I have a dog, even though if I clear off a little area out in the yard for him to go to the bathroom, that's not always the best. And it's okay when he poops in the house at those points, because I'm like, dude, I understand. You don't want to poop outside when it's like -5 degrees.
Imagine if you had to. Imagine if you had to go stick your butt out in the freezing -5 and poop. It would not be fun. Just shit on the floor.
No.
Tink, just shit on the floor, Tink. You know?
Yeah, it's okay. I'm like, we got spray for that. It's little. You're a little guy.
Yep, you just scoop it up, grab some toilet paper or whatever, a couple sprays of the cleaner. It's good as gold.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is one of my big things that I hate is when people do shame their animals about things like that. Because,
Yeah.
again, as you said, it's as we are all mammals, none of us would want to go shit out in that weather.
And when you're especially, imagine, like, it's also hard to know, a 13-year-old dog is an old dog. That's an elder. That's like your grandmother. Even a Chihuahua, because my Chihuahua's got a lot of issues. I don't know if she'll live to see another year or 2 years. I hope she does. I pray she does. I love her to death. But she's an elder dog, and it's comfort. You know, it's comfort. And I think of my little Tink, my little Chihuahua, like a grandmother, like a granny dog. Go poop in the corner. And I love you. She's blind. You know, and if she feels like she's safe and that's where she can go, that's where she should go. Shit in the house. Good girl. And Professor Pam doesn't like it. And she's like, you clean that up. She tells me, and I will gladly do it. I'll clean it up. I will clean. Take care of my little girl. Yep.
Oh, that actually, I will tell you a little bit of news.
Yeah, what you got?
That actually is bad. So Lady Gaga, she has a dog walker, and who was out, I think it was yesterday, was taking out, she has French bulldogs. And somebody came up and shot her dog walker and stole 2 of the dogs.
The person shot the dog walker and stole her dogs?
Yes. Stole 2 of the 3 dogs. So 2 of them are kidnapped or wherever they are. The other one, LAPD, they ran away at that time. So it's back with Lady Gaga. But right now she is offering a $500,000 reward for her 2 dogs.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at it right now on CNN. Lady Gaga's dog walker shot. 2 of her French bulldogs stolen. You're right on, Gibby. Man, you're telling us the truth. $500,000 reward. LAPD said a man was shot during a robbery before 10 p.m. Why are you walking the dogs that late? Don't walk the dogs at 10 p.m. Where's she living? She live in like Beverly Hills?
Yeah, she lives out in LA, so, fancy area.
Probably Beverly Hills. Even Beverly Hills is, if you've been there, there's some shady ass spots around there. Don't be out walking the dogs. I feel really bad for her.
I can't imagine, honestly, because people are giving her hate on this, because they're like, well, why aren't you giving a reward for the person who shot your dog walker? And the dog walker is recovering, so they said he's going to have a full recovery and everything, and it's like, Lady Gaga is going to take care of that dude. I doubt...
His name is Ryan Fisher. The dog walker's name is Ryan Fisher. Disturbing video, now I'm on the New York Post. Disturbing video shows shooting of Lady Gaga's dog walker, Ryan Fisher. Holy shit. Home video surveillance captured it. Crooks. It says crooks, plural. How many people did it? I'm not going to click the video because I don't want it to... I don't know what's on it.
I haven't watched the video because that stuff makes me very, very upset. So I don't know how many came, but I guess... So after I heard about this, I looked, and, French bulldogs are an expensive dog to buy. A lot of people during this time, of people not having enough money, that dogs and pets being stolen is on the rise where they can resell them.
Oh my gosh. Here's what it says on the New York Post. The footage obtained by TMZ, so you know it's real, because TMZ is legit. Caught the dog walker strolling with the pooches in tow around 9:40 p.m. Wednesday when a white 4-door sedan pulled up alongside him. "Give it up!" yelled one of the 2 men. 2 men hopped out. One of the 2 men yelled, "Give it up," hopped out of the car, jumped the dog walker, identified by TMZ as Ryan Fisher. "No, help me!" screamed Fisher as he wrestled for control of the dogs with the brutes. When Fisher refused to let go of the dogs, one of his attackers raised a semi-automatic handgun and fired a single shot, leaving Fisher splayed out on the sidewalk as the duo grabbed two of Gaga's three dogs, Gustav and Koji, and fled in the car. Is there a third dog that they didn't take?
Yeah, it ran off, and that dog is back with Lady Gaga.
Oh my God, help me, he screamed. Help me, I've been shot. I'm bleeding out of my chest. This is what the guy is yelling. One local can be heard saying he was calling 911, and Good Samaritans rushed to Fisher's aid. They stole two dogs, he told one person who came to his aid. They're Frenchies. They're Lady Gaga's dogs. First responders rushed Fisher to the local hospital where he's expected to recover. No arrests have been made in the robbery, which prompted Gaga to offer $500,000 reward. And there's a cute picture. I'll post this New York Post one in the comments right now. There's a cute picture of Ryan, and and he's got a cute like Snoopy is it called the wife beater? So like a wife beater with like a USA Snoopy, and he's sitting with like a really cute dog. And if you know, I cried on the podcast like 2 weeks ago thinking about losing my dogs. And it's really sad that this guy is shot, and I almost have tears in my eyes for Lady Gaga. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to.
I honestly, and when I saw that this morning, so I'm trying not to. I actually did cry because then I was like reading more about people stealing animals like this, which I didn't realize was a thing. For people to like steal people's pets like this, and I guess it is something that occurs. And all I could think about was, and I mean, I'm very partial to my dog, and I think he's the cutest dog in the entire world. All I could think about was, and I'm not in any kind of area where that's like a threat or something, but I would lose my mind. I would go full.
What about? Hold on. But you said that, but. What month was it? Am I allowed to say this on the pod? I don't want to say too much. I don't think it identifies you. What about the guy with the penis out at you? Wasn't he going to, chance taking your dog from you? Wasn't you were out with the dog?
Right, but I didn't think he was, he was just exposing himself. So, a gentleman was exposing himself in my backyard. The dog was outside on the tie-out, and I had to call the police to come out. They never found this person, but it freaked me out because I feel that I live in a safe area. At times, I would put my dog on his tie-out. I would still be basically inside watching him and then go outside and be around him. But letting him have some time just to kind of just run, as I don't have a fence, and a man exposed his penis nearby, and it totally freaked. It was something. As the police came out, it was a big thing.
Yeah. Do you worry whatever happened to that guy? Yeah. Whatever happened to the naked man running at you with his penis out? Did they ever get any leads on it? Like, do we know who it could have been? Did we ever catch him?
I don't know how much I could. They thought it was.
No one's gonna know anything. I promise. It's so vague. A naked man ran at you with his penis out in the middle of the night. Just don't say town names or anything, and we'll be all set.
Yeah. What was discussed afterwards is they thought it was somebody who lives by who had some drug issues and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that, and they went and spoke with them. They denied it. And it was really my word during that time.
There was no surveillance video or anything, so you're telling them, I seen this, and then the guy's like, oh, that wasn't me. But they pretty much know who it was. They know who it was. The guy's on drugs. He's commonly out sticking his ding-a-ling out to women in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
But he denied this one, and there's no proof to hold him to it.
And I guess that kind of goes on to tie in with, I don't take my dog out late at night at all.
Yeah.
Pretty much last bathroom break is around 7:30, and and then we go early in the morning. But yeah, I used to do that. So I used to be one of those people at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever, because I tried to sleep in until at least like 7. But that's not the case anymore after that. I don't, unless I'm right there and have all the lights on, and we are doing like a little quick.
Do you got like floodlights in the
So,
back? Like, what's the lighting situation in the back of the house like? Good lights or like?
I put in the back of the house at night because I only have, which is something I'm going to work on this spring, is to get more lighting in the back there, because there's only one little light. The side of my home has more outdoor lighting. I have a motion light now that I got put in. So where I park my, this is going to be, but anyway, where I park my car at, I have a motion activated, so if something comes by there, or if I have to go out to my car early in the morning, or out there when I take my dog, and then I have a light in the front, and then I also have street lights out front, so that's a lot more lighted.
Yeah.
My backyard just has like any light at all, or one side of my home. Please do not come and try and do a naked dance in front of my window, anyone.
They don't know who you are or where you live, so it doesn't matter. You live in a small town somewhere up north, that's all they know. They don't know anything. They just know, they're like, this girl sounds really cute, she's super smart, and she helped me save money on my insurance, and I don't know where she lives, and I don't know, I'm not going to stick my dingling out in the window. But now I'm trying to coax you. So now this story leads into, we don't want to talk about the next thing on the pod, right? That's too personal.
Which thing?
The next stalker. So we had that stalker guy, and now we have a new one.
We can. Well, actually, you know what? I'm fine with. I see pretty.
We don't have to say names or anything. We're not going to say names or like locations. So I think we're fine.
Yeah, I think we're fine.
So tell me the story of what's going on with that, because this is, if anyone's listening, this will be their first time hearing. Maybe you want to go from the beginning. Take it from the top, Gibby, and then because I want to know what's the latest.
So I don't know.
Let me preface this. Gibby is a very pretty girl, and there's a guy who she used to know from school, and he's now professing his love for her. He loved her back then. He didn't know how to say it. Am I saying this right? And he's sliding up in her DMs, right?
Yeah. So I know C-Money is talking a lot about how pretty cool I was in high school, but I did have a lot of people who didn't like me and whatnot. So and I was a bit of a nerd. And
I have no idea what she's talking about. I knew her.
I was a cheerleader, but
she was a cheerleader. She wasn't a nerd. I went to a party at her house once and was completely wasted by 10 o'clock at night. She's not a nerd.
True. That was the best party I've ever thrown in my life.
Yeah. Her house almost fell over. There were so many people in it. Everyone was wasted. The music was so loud you couldn't hear. It was like the party you see on the TV movies or whatever, on the movies, only like 10 times better. There was like keg stands, naked chicks. There was like, what's the Cool Whip was everywhere. It was crazy. Jello shots.
There was Jello shots. There wasn't like, well, maybe there was Cool Whip everywhere.
Oh, there was. There was.
When,
sex. There was sex.
My parents a hot tub.
Yeah, we were all in the hot tub. It was like me and like nobody had bathing suits, so they all did skinny dipping. It was crazy. It was wild. It
was very crazy. I did pay for that though. My parents were actually in Las Vegas for a wedding, and I decided to throw this big party that was only supposed to be small, but then became very large. And I did get in a lot of trouble for it afterwards.
Mom and Dad, if you're listening to this, She did not. She didn't even know. She just told a couple people, my parents are going to Vegas. Do you want to come hang out? And those people were the ones that did it. Then they invited one, and one invited another, and then it became like one of those crazy parties. Literally, the house was shaking. There were so many people in it and so much stuff going on. Yep.
Yeah.
I just remember Blink 182. Blink 182 was playing so loud. Yep. We were all in the hot tub. Whipped cream everywhere.
Yeah.
Naked chicks. Drunk. Oh, I'm so wasted. I'm so wasted. Was that 2003?
Yeah, that was 2003 because it was my junior year of high school. So yeah. It was because after that my parents never went on vacation again when I was in high school.
You taught them. You taught them really well. Oh, that's funny.
So after that, anytime that there was, like, they went on vacation, I had to go stay somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed, like, back in the home after that. But well worth it.
You needed someone to watch you. You were wild. She's like, I was a nerd a little bit, and no one liked me. But all the whole town and all the schools around all came to hang out with me at my house for a party. And I can't even be left alone because I'm such a nerd. I don't think so, Gibby. Don't play that game.
But no, I want a precursor of why this person started this.
Okay,
okay.
Go.
Physics and chemistry and like in AP Calc and whatnot. And so I was in classes with this individual and had been since I moved to the small town from beforehand, so it's very small, from little, and again, this is going to sound really horrible. I mean, I tried to be nice to everyone. That was something that my parents really instilled with me. It was like being just nice to everyone. And so I was nice, but I had pretty much boyfriends all throughout high school. Won't really go into all that kind of stuff, but so I remember I went to a very small school, so I remember most of the people I went to high school with, and whatnot, but I also do struggle with names at that point because then going to college and then having friends through work as you get older, kind of remembering people's names from 20 plus years ago are a little hard. I don't want to say like people are forgettable, but if it's somebody that you were in class with for a couple of times, if you didn't have a lot of interactions with them, I think it's hard to remember that 20 years later when you haven't had any interaction at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I really want to preference that, so it's not seeming like I'm like a bitch. So, and I mean, we've all been on Facebook since I think the beginning of time, since the beginning part. So in the beginning, like anyone who would friend you, and especially from like high school and whatnot, you'd be friends with them and accept them. So I didn't even know I was friends with this person at this point, or like I just probably thought, I don't even remember. It had to be multiple years ago where I was like, oh, whatever, we went to high school together. Of course. And maybe it was because I scheduled our 10-year reunion, so maybe it was during that point. I have no idea. So all of a sudden, I got this message from this person who I went to high school with, and did this whole thing, and it was very an aggressive message where it was, I can't believe that you're still single. I would like, I wish that I would have asked you out in high school, but you never would have been with me. And I, like, basically, like, I almost like I want to shoot my shot now, but
sounds like they love you.
Really yeah, he told me he loved me at the end.
Oh,
Also told
he
me
did
that,
tell you. He said he loves you.
He said that he said that he was in love with me, and then he also said that he knew that I was living where I live at.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he said that? He knows where you live?
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't say the actual address, but he said that he knew, like, that I was living in the town that I lived in. So, again, I try to be nice, but it kind of, I don't know if our listeners know what incel is. So an incel is a man...
You explain it. Explain what an incel is. I don't... You taught me this. I didn't know before you.
Yeah. So an incel is a man who thinks that basically, it's almost like it's women's fault that they're not getting laid, and it's like very aggressive males who, basically, if you don't like them, that's your fault, and you should, just horrible things should happen to you, and that they should be able to have sex whenever they want, and that just really, if you Google it, it's really horrible, like what these kind of people say to other humans. It's not okay.
So you think that this guy's like an incel type of person? Like, is he like a... Yeah. How would you describe him like back then? And have you seen them since high school? Have you seen this person since school?
What made it really weird is that I waited. So I saw the message and I was like, well, I'm like, it's really weird. And I was like, I know this is, when I respond to it a certain way, I know, and again, I think that's really hard on women. I know if, in a certain way, if I respond to this as, like, thank you, I hope you're doing well, that's gonna spiral into, I could date you, blah, 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 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I just sent a message back, and I was like, thank you for that compliment. However, I'm single because I choose to be single, and I hope that you are doing well.
That's fine. That's a nice thing. That's nice. You said I'm single because I want to be single, and I hope you're doing well. And I think that's the way to do it. And what did they say back to you? What was the next response?
He responded back to me in saying that he would like to talk to me, and that he didn't believe that I remembered who he was. So I felt like that was a little aggressive. And also, it's like, it's somebody who, again...
Do you remember?
I was not friends...
Do you know who he was? Do you know him?
What?
Do you know who he was?
Do
you remember him?
After I saw pictures, I do remember. And I feel bad about saying this as well. I had to go through a couple pictures to it had to jog my memory a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You've been out of school for 17 years? 18 years?
Yeah, and it's like, you have to remember somebody who, even though it was a very small school, it's just, I again say, through college, through life, you meet so many people that sometimes it's hard to remember those people. And I looked through, so he's shooting his shot or trying to do whatever with me. I looked at his Facebook profile. He's in a long-term relationship.
Oh, he's in a relationship, but do you think, could it have been that he saw you at the store, you were at Whole Foods, I'm just going to make up the name of a store. You were getting your groceries, you were wearing your Birkenstocks and your cute outfits, and he's like, damn, I remember this girl from back in school. I sat by her in my nerd class. I never knew how to talk to her, but now I'm a real man. I got a job. I know I'm in this long-term relationship, but this girl, all she does is yell at me all the time. And look at this girl. Look at her. She's like looking at the cucumber. Which cucumber is the healthiest? Now she's looking at the
Yeah.
oranges. Now she's looking at the artichokes. Oh, she's got a good eye for artichokes. And then he's like, I got to message her on social media. Could that be it, or do you think he's
Well,
definitely an incel crazy person? Or could it actually
I think
be
even
he's in love
because
with...
I
How
will
can he be an
say
incel if he has a girlfriend in a long-term relationship?
I have no idea. I don't know. It was just the tone of stuff. It's just
Yeah.
it's always weird to me. I understand like telling somebody that you have a crush on them or something like that, but I do think it's really weird to go back 17, 20 years and to be like, I had a really big crush on you. I don't think you would ever like me, blah, blah, blah. I think
Yeah.
that's a weird move.
I've had the same
Especially if you weren't friends with
conversations.
them.
I've had this happen to me, is why I'm wondering. And I didn't know at the time, and it wasn't quite as long. It was like 10 years after high school. Different people, different girls. One guy, but mostly girls, had come to me like on Messenger. I think I was using like AOL Instant Messenger or something at the time. And there was just different girls who I didn't know. I had no idea. Now, like, I'm old as fuck, and Professor Bam, who also was in school with me, tells me, oh, every girl that I know had a crush on you and wanted to date you or whatever at that time. I'm like, I had no idea. I didn't. When you're there, you don't know. So maybe every guy in that class thought, damn, Gibby. Look at that hair. Look at the way she walks. Listen to her talk. You just never know. You could have been like the cat's pajamas. I didn't know. I had no idea until they started coming to me like 10 years after high school. They're like, hey, I had this huge crush on you. I'm like, oh, I had no idea. Because if I knew back then, because there's a lot of times I didn't have a girlfriend or anything. I didn't know how to like talk to girls at certain points, and like it was scary, and like I'm supposed to ask someone to go to the dance with me. Luckily, somehow someone always asked me to go. But like I think a lot of guys feel like that.
Oh, these mysterious women suddenly asked me to go.
Everyone is, yeah. But you just didn't know. So maybe it was like that. Could that be it? Could he just, and maybe it's more than him. Maybe it's like lots of dudes that you went to school with, and they're all thinking to themselves, I see she's still single. Maybe it's my chance now.
I don't know. I just thought I had a really bad feeling about it, and especially with the response, and it was very quick after, and whatever the social media thing about like responding to certain messages, but I just didn't feel good about it.
Yeah.
And like looking at it, so and especially when he referenced that he not only referenced the town, but he referenced the road that I live on, that I didn't feel comfortable about it.
Well, now that's scary though. That's a little scary. That's I know what you did last summer level scary. If he knows like where you live and you have not talked to him in that long, who would tell him? It is a small town, so if he knows someone that knows you, maybe you've been compromised.
Yeah, and my big thing is I understand, people, of course, in small towns, like, a lot of people know most likely where I live at and whatnot. That's just normal, but it's weird to reference it, and also weird, like, to say that when in a Facebook message when you haven't spoken to that person and he wasn't my friend in high school or any kind of connection. It's a very odd thing. So what I ended up doing, and I just responded back to him after that, and I just said, and I hope that it sounds like this is going to sound so bitchy, but I responded back and just said, hold on, let me see. Well, actually, I don't know because I blocked him afterwards. I just responded back and I just said, I hope that you are doing really well, and I can see that you're in a relationship, and I hope that you treasure the relationship that you're in, and I wish you the best.
No,
and
he doesn't. He doesn't treasure. He doesn't. He wants what you got. He's seen you at the store or something. I'm telling you. It's very strange.
I don't go around it for, like, honestly, not,
What does he do? Okay, so I say see you at the store, but a lot of people are on social media a lot. Maybe he just like seen your social media profile and he's like, damn, this girl's still looking good. You know?
but it's just weird. I think if any guys are listening to this, or females, or anyone, if you want to, and again, is
I think we talked about what's the proper way. If the proper way, what would the proper way be if it was some other guy, not this fucking weirdo? But let's say there was a guy, you knew him. Maybe he wasn't a weirdo. Maybe you actually knew him, but it was like a long time ago. And how would he like, or she, let's not be gender, just if you're gender queer, okay, we need to be open. He or she, if that person back then wanted to approach you respectfully and not be a weirdo about it, what should they do versus what happened here?
I think a DM, if you knew then and it was appropriate, you could do a direct message and be like, hey, I just ran across your page or something like that, and am happy for, you can say, I'm happy for what's going on in your life, and was just wondering if you would like to catch up or do something kind of like a blanket neutral kind of a thing. Like, hey, just something really blanket. Don't go all out and say you had a crush on them, that you like them, you love them.
That's a little, I think they came on a little strong. Maybe it was like late at night, they had a few drinks and they were like, I'm going to say all this. Maybe they should have said, you're saying they should have said like, hey, it's been so long since we talked. It looks like you're doing great. I'm doing great too. I'm actually, this and this going on, but I am living in the area. Do you want to get together and have a cup of coffee and chat? I would love to.
That would be, I think, absolutely the perfect way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Or even if.
And if they said to you, like, let's chat about Harry Potter, or if they were like, hey, let's go have a cup of coffee and talk about, what's the other one? I'm totally blanking. What's the show? What's the show we're going to watch together? With the phone booth?
Doctor Who.
Okay, so he's like, yeah, let's get some coffee and, like, chat about what's going on Doctor Who. And then you're like, I'm down with this. Even if I'm not liking the guy, we're going to go talk about Doctor Who.
That would be, I think, the best way to go into it that way. Instead of just being, like, it puts too much pressure as well. I'd be like, I had a crush on you in high school, like, all that kind of stuff, because as we get older, we've all changed. We're all different people.
Mm-hmm.
And especially for people I think especially people who don't really know you, even when we were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So we were friends in high school. So for people who are outside of our friend group, I'm sure they had different perceived notions of what we were actually like.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's a different, so like people probably, B-Money thought of you like, oh, this giant wrestler, blah, 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 everything else. It's a different pedestal. So it's like you have created a sort of fantasy of what this person is like.
Yeah.
And we can never live up to what, some people can build up in their minds. If it's a friend and it's someone who, even an acquaintance during that time that kind of knew you, like, hey, just wanted, we're both in the same area, do you want to go grab coffee, something like that. I think that is perfectly a fine way to connect with somebody again. But
the way they did it was like way too fast, coming on too strong, too fast. And then also the second message, which makes me wonder too, because I was trying to play devil's advocate and be like, what if, but I see what you're saying, like, If they came on super strong and then the next day, the next message wasn't like, oh my gosh, I was drinking when I sent you that. Really, I did mean what I said, but like, that's crazy. I would love to talk to you, but sorry about the wild midnight message where I was drunk. I bet the person was drunk, the first one. The first one sounds like a drunk dial DM. You know what I mean? It really does.
Yeah. But it wasn't like at night. So unless you like
Okay, never mind. I'm totally wrong the whole time. The guy is fucking insane. I'm with you. Okay. I'm just...
So, and I really wish I spoke with one of my work friends about it because I was like, this is so fucking. I'm like, this is just so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I really wish I would have saved her screenshots of it. And I don't have the screenshots of the messages he sent me because since I blocked him, I think they're gone. I haven't really looked yet though. I think they're all gone once you block somebody.
Yeah.
And she was telling me, and she was like, that's like the wildest. She's like, that's like the wildest thing. So I don't know how. That's kind of weird. No, so his first message is still there, but the responses aren't. So the first one, I can say it word for word, but the other ones aren't there. So
yeah, they'll never
the first
listen to
one he
this
sent
pod.
me-
They won't know. They'll never listen. It's all good. Say it.
So how the hell are you single? I had an insane crush on you in school. I wish I would have asked you to be my girlfriend. I was too shy, / scared, / you were and are still out of my league. That was the first one. And then it gets crazier, but I won't go through all that kind of stuff.
This
I don't want
sounds...
to do that to...
That guy's brave. What? I wish I could talk to girls like this. What a brave person. What? What a brave or crazy. That guy's either crazy or really brave.
That's a crazy message.
Yeah.
That's a bold move. So that move, okay. So let's be real about this. So if someone sent me that kind of message when, because Facebook was active when we were in college.
Mm-hmm.
Only I think it was freshman year of college is when I got Facebook. But if someone would have done that like freshman year, that would have been, something, or even like right out of college.
Mm-hmm.
That's something to send, but not when we're in our 30s. I think that's a weird. Again, I just think it's weird. The interaction was weird.
We have a comment right now. We have a comment responding that says, from L. Fortunato says, this guy sounds crazy with a whole bunch of A's. L. Fortunato, I agree.
Agreed.
This guy sounds crazy. And they also said, my, that is strange. And we have another comment from Joe, a person named Joe, that says, loving this pod with a heart sign. So, cool. I think they like your story, and people agree, the fans agree that dude is that's crazy. And watch out.
Yeah. So that is happening. I will update the fans. Hopefully nothing happens again on that. I have been blocked now on Facebook. So after my final message to him that I wish him well. And my 20-year reunion isn't happening for a couple more years. So if I do have to see him, that'll at least have some buffer time. But
what time of the year do they do the 20-year reunion? Isn't that usually in the summer?
Usually, B-Money, I actually scheduled our 10-year, so it's usually summer. It's usually fall.
I don't do them. I didn't go to the one. There was 2 of them for me. I didn't go. But I would, you know what I'm going to do? I'm definitely, whatever it is, we're getting a helicopter. I'm going to get the okay from Professor Bam. I'm going with you to that. Because I'm going to look in the eyes of some people and be like, what's up? When we're flying in on a helicopter. How fun would that be?
That just a chopper coming down. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing.
That would be fun. I'm going to get an approval. I used to be, and I think she'll say good, go for it. Because back in school, my nickname from my friends was the prom guy. Because there were certain points where, like, I was single.
I remember this.
I would go to fucking proms at
prom in the county.
all the schools. All these different girls from all these different proms. And I would go because the prom has the best food. You would always get the best mashed potatoes. They would have chicken or steak or some great food. So, like, I was like, I'm definitely doing this. Prom guy. Yeah, get me a ticket, I would say. I'll go with you to the prom. I'll go with you to the 20-year reunion. What kind of food's going to be there? Will we get a helicopter? I think we will. I think we will. Yeah.
Well, most likely, because I had to plan, which I'm still a little bit salty about. I planned actually my 10-year reunion, and no one helped me. And then I got again, no one wants to hear this part. I was student council president. I wasn't class president, but our class president didn't want to schedule out our 10-year reunion, so I took it upon myself to do it.
Yeah.
And I literally do not want to have to plan it.
How did that go? How did did anyone come to that, to the 10-year? Everyone probably still lives in the town, right? They're probably all there.
Yeah. Accounting. I did it at, and yeah.
Don't say the name.
Like,
Don't say the name of the place.
Accounting.
Was it like the local bar?
Yeah.
So you did it at the local bar. It's like a little bar. It's like a little brown bar in the town.
I went above. I did a Sarah thing, so I tried to make it as Pinteresty as possible at that time.
Yeah.
So I printed off. So I had all of my yearbooks at that time. So I printed off all yearbook photos. So they were on all the tables. Which now, looking back, probably wasn't very nice for a lot of people if they didn't have good yearbook photos. But and all the tables. Now I'm like, that's probably like not nice for people who didn't have good like yearbook photos. But I did it all throughout the years. And even because I came to the school later on in second grade.
Yeah.
So I found from a friend who I graduated with their yearbooks from the years beforehand. So I was able to put that all over the table and did like kind of like streamers and all that kind of jazz and tried to make it like nice at least and everything. Got a band there and stuff. But like no one paid me back.
That's amazing. It's amazing that you did it. So people actually came to it. Did you have more than 10 show up?
Yes, I did.
More than 20?
I think I had more than 20. Yeah, I had more than 20.
But there probably was only like 50 or less in the grade, right? How many people were in your grade?
60. Actually, it's 60-something.
60. It's a tiny school, so I mean that's a huge percentage. If you had 35% of the kids come back, that's wild. That's crazy. Good job, Gibby.
I do not want to plan the 20th. But I would go in a helicopter with you to that one as long as I don't have to plan it.
We're gonna do that just so I can look. I'm gonna look in the face of some people. It's gonna be a ridiculous thing. You know, I drive an old jacked up car. I'm like the most frugal person. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm going to have like a suit made out of $100 bills. You know what I mean? It's going to be literally sewn out of $100 bills. I'm going to have on gold watches, 6 of them up each wrist. And we're flying in on a fucking the same helicopter Kobe flew on the last time he flew. We're flying in that one.
very dark moment to bring up.
Yeah. We're flying in.
Yeah.
We're landing it right in the street. And it's going to be so loud and the wind will be blowing and all these people will be trying to walk up to the little brown bar in the middle of town and they'll be like falling over from the helicopter wind. Yep. Pretty cool.
And then instead of actually staying there for it, we just throw out dollar bills that they can scramble for.
Exactly. And then you and I and Kim and Kanye, who are also in the helicopter with us, are like, let's go find something else to do.
Hold up. B-Money. Kim and Kanye have filed for divorce.
I don't believe it.
That's serious. Look it up. Kim filed for divorce. It's real.
I don't believe it. Let me look it up. I see it all. You know what? I've been seeing this for years in the tabloids.
No, she actually filed.
Why would she file? They have kids. All about family since filing for divorce. The rise and fall of Kim and Kanye. I think it's just to get in the news. I think they do this every once in a while. There's no news. They can't get in the news. The best way to do it is to break up, and then they're going to make up, okay? If you want to be in the news, it's all about the kids and the divorce, and he said, she said, and then that lets People and Us Magazine and TMZ. Here's a TMZ. Let's click on them. Kim Kardashian files for divorce from Kanye West. Kim K has filed for divorce from Kanye after almost 7 years of marriage, but our sources say it's as amicable as divorce can be. Kim is asking for joint legal and physical custody of the couple's 4 kids. Hey, Pete, shut up. I'm on a live TV show. Stop howling. Okay, where was I? Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Kanye is fine with the joint custody agreement, and we're told both Kim and Ye are committed to co-parenting together. There's a prenup, and we're told neither party is contesting it. In fact, our sources say they are already far along in reaching a property settlement agreement. I bet you Kanye gets that Wyoming ranch. Just putting...
Well, no. So this whole big issue is with their California... I know this because, again...
You tell me. You know everything. I know nothing. You always know. Tell me everything. Please, teach me.
So the big thing about their home that they own in California is that Kim owns the property, but Kanye owns the house. The whole thing is that, so it's like, it's about who's going to own their giant, weird mausoleum house. And if you've ever looked at pictures of the home they built out there, it looks like a weird museum. I love following Kardashian news. I think it's such an interesting story that she went from sex video to now being a billionaire.
Yeah.
I think it's such a crazy story, like from OJ to now.
Yeah.
Like it's like Robert Kardashian's backstory, Chris, everything. I think it's a very, very interesting thing.
Yeah, Bruce Jenner too. I mean, Caitlyn Jenner. We got to throw Caitlyn in. The whole thing is wild and weird and cool. Crazy.
Yeah, it's such a weird, and honestly, it just kind of shows how America kind of works in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's like, all of them are all billionaires basically now. Like with Kim, like, I mean, that house, if you look at it, and Kanye designed it, there's an article, I think it's on BuzzFeed, that showed the house when Kanye took it over to, like, change it into, like, his modern view.
Yeah.
And it literally goes from, like, kind of like a cozy, I mean, still, I think it's a $50 million mansion.
Wow.
But it goes from being kind of cozy, and, like, you can kind of see, like, I mean, never in any wildest dreams, but it goes from something kind of a little bit cozy outside to going to Kanye's vision for it, which was like, I mean, he is very simplistic and modern. So the entire house looks like to me like going through like concrete. Like to me, it's like it's all monotone colors. and so it's his vision. There's not like any family photos or any kind of like different, like it's all like very modern.
Very schizophrenic.
Yeah. So supposedly that is like he designed it, the house part, and like owns that house, but it's on Kim's property. So it'll be interesting to see if they.
Does he like?
That property,
what do they do? Do they like pick it up and he moves his house somewhere else, and then she can like build her own house there? How can they do that? Can they cut the house into pieces and haul it away on a truck? Or maybe they just figure out a settlement. She keeps the house, pays Ye $50 million. He moves to his Wyoming ranch. He lives there and raises cattle, and then she can live in Los Angeles. That would be the best thing.
That I think would be the best, is for her to be able to, him to give her that house. He can stay in Wyoming, be afraid of there. He seems to love it there.
I love it there.
I think that would be the best.
I love it there. Remember when we were talking about at the beginning of this pandemic, when we were saying, like, when all the shit hits the fan and we're all gonna, you and Professor Bam and I and whatever other who's in our close circle, we were gonna go get a ranch, solar power ranch, where we had our own power and we could pump our own water and just get off the grid away from all this craziness. I would do it.
You know, we were, yeah, that definitely. But side note, if you want to look it up, and if everyone else wants to look it up, actually in San Francisco, they moved an old Victorian home that was on one street, a giant mansion, to a different place in San Francisco, and actually closed down streets, and actually moved an entire house to a different location.
I'm looking it up right now.
And because in the location that the house is going to become like giant apartment complex or whatnot. But the house,
wow, I'm looking at it 2 days ago. It's on housebeautiful.com. 139-year-old Victorian mansion. And then there's The Guardian says, like moving a herd of elephants, San Francisco has a history of houses on wheels. Who knew? I didn't know that. People magazine.
Yeah,
I'll post the People link.
And it's been over. I think it cost. What did it say? Since you have the article up, isn't it like $400,000 or $500,000 that they spent
just to move it?
To have it moved, and it took over a year.
Yeah, let me go into the article. I went back out because I was going to go post it on the thing. Let me go back in. Hold on. Okay, I'll read the article real quick. It'll be interesting because that's super interesting. The article's title, it's People Magazine. 139-year-old Victorian house was placed on wheels and moved through San Francisco streets. The Victorian house was placed on trailers and squeezed through San Francisco streets to its new address 6 blocks away on Sunday. It's not every day you get to see a house rolling down the road, but some Northern California residents were treated to such a sight this weekend. On Sunday, a 139-year-old Victorian house was placed on trailers and squeezed through San Francisco streets to its new address 6 blocks away. According to the Associated Press, the home is owned by broker Tim Brown, who paid around $400,000 in fees to relocate the 2-story, 6-bedroom structure. Houses there are millions, though. $400,000 can't even buy you an apartment, a 1-bedroom.
No, it's there.
Yeah. The relocation effort is part of the Browns' plan to restore the home, along with another Victorian-style building, a mortuary, at the Fillmore District location. He also plans to build an 8-story, 48-unit rental property. Oh, this is the... Okay, so he claims it's to restore the home in this. Really? He's building a 48-unit rental property at the old location. So that's why $400,000 is nothing when you're going to make $300 million on this building that you're going to build.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, he's going to make bank. But it's really interesting because they do show a video.
Holy shit, Gibby.
You share it. It's crazy because it's the house that's just going down these rolling hills of San Francisco.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the picture with the house on the wheels. The house is amazing. It's huge and old. I don't know how they're doing this. This is very difficult. What the fuck? This is crazier than the clouds.
House. So, I asked my dad about this, and I always think my dad knows everything.
He does.
But, he said, basically, for this, because I shared this with him as well, was they had to secure that entire foundation. So underneath of it, they had to re-secure that before they lifted it. So they had to go through that entire basement and re-secure that. So that was probably at least hundreds of thousands of dollars to create that in order for them just to lift up a Victorian home. Because I grew up in a Victorian home, and I'll be very honest, my parents still live there. That basement is scary as crap. And even like when my parents have tried to redo things on that, it's a crap ton of money. And to even imagine someone trying to lift up a historic home is insane. So that's why it took a year, and I'm sure it took a lot more money to get that house ready to lift up like that.
That's crazy. I'm looking at the pictures right now. I just posted the link in the live chat. Wow, wow, wow. 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 Amazing. Even crazier than the clouds that were coming down to earth with the hole in the sky. When you see this Victorian home, it looks like they're going to hit everything. There's these huge old 800-year-old trees. There's all kinds of stuff. It doesn't make sense. Crazy. Wow, thanks for bringing that up. I don't even know what we were talking about before either, because I'm so like enthralled with this. Amazing.
It's actually
we were talking about I said, can they chop the house up and move it? And you said, actually, they can. They can, okay.
Yeah, it's banana pants. It's, and I think it's something different from, like, us growing up, C-Money, because our family, like, our more historical homes, like, in Michigan, have basements. So in California, they don't have basements.
Nope, they don't.
So they have more of, when they created homes, they didn't have those. So they have more of a baseline structure, so it's easier for that transfer, for them to stabilize that more. But still, a shit ton of money for them to create that kind of basement.
But we know why now. If it was just to move it, that makes not a lot of sense. But if you're going to make hundreds of millions on a building, now we know why. Makes total sense. Yep. Total sense. Very cool. Looks like we got some comments. So I did a comment. We got another comment. I can't see the one that just disappeared. Joe says, that's Foo space King crazy. That's Foo King crazy.
Agree.
Yeah. Yep. Wild. So one thing, I'm so glad that you keep up on the Kardashians. For our pod each week, we should talk about the Kardashians. We should have there's always something. Kris Jenner keeps them in the news. She keeps them in the news. And I think we're going to see the divorce won't go through. Because every couple years they're on the rocks, or whenever the news gets slow and they take their turns in the media. I think it's just the media hype. So they can get on the tabloids.
Can I give you one other hot goss?
Yeah, please. That's what that's what I thought this whole podcast was going to be, is hot gossip from Gibby.
Okay.
I think we'll rename it that. Thursdays will be Hot Gossip Gibby.
Oh, God. Okay, since you already brought up Blink-182 that we listened to at my amazing house party.
Yeah.
You know who Travis Barker is, right?
Yeah, I know of them all. All of them. Yep.
So Travis Barker is actually dating Kourtney Kardashian now.
Really?
Yeah, like they're like a full couple, and they've been friends. I guess they're all. I mean, I always assume all celebrities are friends. That's in my mind.
Yeah.
I think that's what happens. But supposedly, allegedly, that Kourtney and him and their whole like family units have all been friends for a long time. But now Kourtney Kardashian is dating Travis Barker, and they're like serious. Like they posted like pictures on Instagram of them holding hands, and they're like in a relationship.
His middle name is Landon. I'm not a real big fan of him, but I do like of his. I'm sorry, I like his Air. He's got a pair of Air Jordans that I like. They made Air Jordans for him. Okay, he is the drummer, Blink-182. I'm just looking at. I'm not a fan of the male modeling photos. It looks like he does a whole lot of like male modeling pictures. Not a big fan of that, but I like him as a drummer, and I love Blink-182. Yeah.
One really weird thing that actually when I saw that, I had to Google it because I remember when we were in high school that him and his ex-wife had a reality show, and they did.
Yeah, Travis. Yeah, they did. They had one. Oh, and I see BuzzFeed News says Kourtney's feuding because the ex-wife said she called her a downgrade.
Yeah, so there is drama on that end. And I will say one thing, I love the Kardashians. So I love their drama part. I don't agree with a lot of things about it. I like what they
Kourtney's looking good. Kourtney Kardashian's looking real good. Looking good.
Yeah, but Shauna, so the ex-wife, she was a Miss America, and I remember watching that show and was like, oh, she's so cool. And but they had like a kind of a weird MTV TV show during that time.
Shit. Maybe it is a downgrade. This girl's fine. Shauna, I'm looking at her right now. Shauna Mokler. She is hot.
Yeah. But they also divorced, and I think it's like mid-2000, maybe around the time that we were in high school. I have to Google that. I think it's 2008.
Everyone's mad at her. Oh, no. This is bad.
But she is banging. She is...
I want to say both of them are. I'm going to say the ex is hot, but also this girl, this Kardashian, very hot. Very good-looking girl.
Kourtney is my favorite Kardashian because she is more, to me, more real. And I like the fact is that she also, when a long time ago, when there was an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and Kim was bawling about losing an earring in the ocean, and she was freaking out about it, and Kourtney came out and said, people are dying.
Mm-hmm.
She's like get a reality check. So she is like the reality check of the family. So I enjoy Kourtney. She's my favorite Kardashian.
That's amazing. I wonder if she's one of the ones. So my friend here in Sarasota is a shaman. I've said this on the show before, but our friend is a shaman, and Shaman Jeff is his name, and he was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. They met him, and I have not actually seen the episode, but I know Professor Bam showed me. I can't tell you that I actually watched it, but she played it and stuff, and I know for sure I've talked with Jeff about it, and they were calling him Charmin. And now he calls himself the Charmin because he's squeezably soft, like Charmin toilet paper. So you and I need to figure this out. We need to find the clip of them meeting our shaman friend. And then when you come to Florida, we'll go to the same thing and we'll do the podcast from there. And say, we are in the location where the Jenners, Kylie Jenner was here with Kourtney Kardashian and Kris Jenner. And they met with the shaman. And we're here to interview him. How funny would that be?
That would be absolutely hysterical.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about what crystals they...
We can get them. We'll get all those answers. We'll get the answers for sure.
Yeah, we can go for a detail, unless they had to sign an NDA, which might...
No, I've talked to them at length about some of this stuff. I don't know a lot about it. I know I love, and Professor Bam gets mad at me, but I'm like, I love them girls, them Kardashians. They're fine as fuck, I say, and I got no problems with them, and I really love, they're easy on the eyes. I hate to see them go, but I love to watch them leave, and then Professor Bam gets mad. That's okay, whatever. We all like our own things. I like these big giant butts on the Kardashians. They're fake, I don't care. So is Coca-Cola. It ain't natural. I like that too. Yep.
I'm a fan, and the fact is that I like the tenacity. And the fact is they have kept it on for so long. It's the same reason why, and I know some people don't like it or anything, I like a Paris Hilton as well. She has made so much money off of being a dumb blonde. Mm-hmm. And when you see her documentary she did, I think it's on Hulu, and she's a very intelligent woman. I mean,
super smart.
Let's not forget the fact is that she went to the most very expensive boarding schools, mm-hmm. and has extreme education. She had a sex tape. Yes, she had certain things, but she built it into an empire. She's
amazing.
Multi-millionaire.
Yeah. So I met Paris Hilton. Did I tell you this?
No. I see that story.
Yeah.
Because her voice isn't the same, right? Because her normal voice isn't as high-pitched.
No, she was really cool. I met her in Philadelphia. It was 2000. It was the first year that I was dating Professor Bam. It was 2007. And she did a movie called The Hottie and the Naughty. And this was in her...
Christy and Bacon from, oh my God, one of my favorite, Step by Step.
Yeah, amazing. So she did The Hottie and the Naughty. And there was a, what was it? It was at it was called the Franklin Mills Mall. Anybody that's listening can Google this. The Franklin Mills Mall in Philadelphia. And it was right by my house. I had an apartment right near the mall there. And they changed it. Now it's called the Philadelphia Mills Mall, if you look it up on Google. But she came to do a promo thing for the movie because Philly's they go to the big cities and do this stuff. So she came there, and Professor Bam worked at the mall. So Professor Bam actually met some famous people there too. We'll talk about at a later time. But I got to meet Paris Hilton. She told me that's hot to something I said to her, and I got to give her a hug. I gave her a hug, and I said something to her, and she said, that's hot. And I was like, oh, you know how I am. I was like, oh, you said the thing. It was really cool. So we had a little moment, and basically I think she wanted to date me, but I was already taken. So whatever. Paris Hilton told me that's hot after I hugged her. True.
And another news update, I think she's pregnant, by the way.
And I ain't the baby daddy, I promise.
I don't know.
Yeah, she's pregnant. That's weird. So here's a weird thing. We're just going we're going to take Paris Hilton into this weird. So this whole past weekend, starting Friday, I didn't have a lot to do. Let's just be honest. So I turned on my TV and I went to YouTube and I started watching pizza reviews. And this sounds crazy, but there's a guy, his name's Dave Portnoy. He owns a company called Barstool Sports, okay? And he makes me laugh.
Okay.
And he has a YouTube channel, and it's called, like, Davey Page Views. And they're called, like, pizza reviews. That's all he does. He's gone to, like, 450 different pizza shops in New York City, all the cities, Miami. He's here in Florida with me right now doing pizza reviews. So all I did was, like, go to his channel and press play. And it was on, like, autoplay. I watched fucking pizza reviews from Friday to Sunday. And by Saturday of watching pizza reviews, I was into it. It was like I did the deep dive of all pizza reviews. I now feel that I'm the expert on pizza just from watching the reviews. So by Saturday, Professor Bam came down and she was like, "Are you still watching pizza reviews?" I'm like, "I'm so into this." I was like very straight into it. Like there's no stopping me from watching the next one. So then I like was Googling and like searching on maps to find like who's the best pizza place in the area. It was anyways to tie into Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton was on one of the pizza reviews, and then I was like, oh, I remember I got to meet Paris Hilton, telling myself the same stupid story I just told you. And right shortly after that, I started searching, and I found pizza, but I had to drive because it was like the best pizza place near me was like 45 minutes away. But I was like, oh, this is like a really good pizza. Like coal.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was like the hot stone, the coal fire, all the best things. And they were like 5-star reviewed, thousands of reviews. People were like, this is real Italy pizza. And so I'm like, I ordered it. I used, for the first time ever, I've never ordered pizza this way, but I went on Google and it was only like 45 minutes before they closed. So I was like, holy shit, I can't call them. I'm going to be on hold forever. So I did the app. I did on Google. It was called Slice. And I just like put my info in real quick. I chose it said, this is the number one ordered pizza from this restaurant. And I was like, I'll take that one. It was like a meatball pizza. It's their number one thing. So I got that, got some breadsticks. I put the order in like 30 seconds. My card was already like linked through Google. I hit order. And it's like, your pizza will be ready in 37 minutes. So I was like sitting in my underwear watching pizza reviews. So I'm like, oh, I gotta find clothes. So I'm like grabbing, there's like old dirty shorts that I have to wash. I just like threw them on and like, I had a t-shirt on. So I just like stumbled out the door. I'm like, oh man, I'm going to get pizza. It's going to be a while. See you in an hour and a half. She's like, an hour and a half? Because we got pizza places right down the street. I'm like, yeah, I'm driving. I'm going to get a special pizza. She already thinks I'm crazy because I'm doing these pizza reviews. And I'm like,
an hour and a half to bring a pizza?
Because it's 45 minutes there and then 45 back, right? So it's long, yeah, hour and a half. So that's what it was. So, and it was going to be ready in 37. It actually was ready in 40. And I got there 1 minute after. I got there in 41 minutes because I drove really fast. And I got in and picked up the pie, looked at it. They were so nice. It was all Italian people. I put it in the car, and then I called my sister Rose to brag, and then I just stomped on the gas to get home. And then I just ate pizza for 2 days. I ate pizza Saturday night, and it was really good. It was worth the drive. I ate pizza Saturday night, and I ate pizza Sunday. And it took me 2 days to eat the whole pizza because Professor Bam's lactose intolerant. I got her a, what the hell is it called? Stromboli. With like very little cheese so she could take a dairy pill. And it had like triple pepperoni. So that's what she got to eat for 2 days. And I just ate this pizza. So I was like a slice. Oh, that's good. 2 hours later, go get another slice. And by Sunday night, pizza was gone. And then I stopped watching pizza reviews, and here we are. It's Thursday. Say it again.
What was your pizza order?
My pizza was their number one pizza. It was like a Italian meatball pizza, and it was made like crazy good. I've never had a pizza like this. It's hard to describe. I might have sent you a picture already, and if not, I'll send you one. But man, it was so good. And the breadsticks were good. I had one of the breadsticks, and then Professor Bam ate the rest of those. Because I was like, this was a huge fucking pizza. How big's a large pizza? 16 or 18 inches? It barely fit on the seat of my car. It barely fit in the refrigerator. I had to like squeeze it. I was like pushing in the sides of the box, like hoping and praying and like shoving it. And it would barely fit into and I got a big refrigerator. Would barely fit. So it was really fun. I watched pizza reviews the whole next day. I haven't watched any this week. I've just been working. But I can't wait. I think this Friday I might start doing pizza reviews again. And then by Saturday I'll be motivated to go drive 6 hours to buy a pizza and come back and eat it all weekend. What do you think about that?
6 hours to go drive for a pizza?
I don't know. What if I got to go to Miami and back? It's like 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
I mean, honestly, like sometimes for work, I have to do 2 hours, 2 hours back for certain things, so I can't judge. And also, I have gone to an upper location in Michigan to go visit pre-Corona time to go to a special restaurant and whatnot to go and see them.
Yeah.
So way long time ago.
You know what I mean, then. You know what I mean? You know when it's like, oh, I got to have the best, and you'll, like, go to get it.
But with pizza, are you going to eat it there and be there, or bring it all the way back? Because cold pizza, versus hot pizza. So
yeah, I got to have it hot. You know what? Even this one, I got it like a minute after it came out of the brick oven or whatever, and it was like steaming. It was too hot to eat. But by the time I got home 40 minutes later, it was still warm, but I warmed it. I threw it in the oven for like 2 minutes. Hey, Posh, what up, my girl? Hey, Posh is on here. I love you, Posh. Posh, aren't we getting together someday soon? Tell me the day in the comments. What day are we getting together, and what are we going to get pizza, Posh? Posh is cooking fried chicken in the air fryer. Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah, no, I love you. I love you, Posh. Okay, put in the comments, because I know, next Saturday. I've been doing pizza reviews, so not this weekend, but next weekend. Is that right? Put it in the comments. Let me know and tell me where we're going to eat. And can we go with Danny Duncan? Can we meet up with Danny Duncan somewhere? She says, no pizza, gluten-free, we are getting salads. I'm not eating a salad. No, pick something else. Gibby, I sent you one of the pizza reviews in a text. I know you skipped the text because you don't read my text.
Yeah, I skipped the text. I'm sorry.
You don't. I know you skip them.
You have to try to save the world. I'm sorry I didn't watch your pizza.
The best one is Jack's. I'm going to play just real quick.
No. I thought, actually I was kind of pissed. When you sent me that picture on Sunday of your giant pizza at 10 p.m. on Sunday, and I got it because, again, I've been on call, and I was dealing with something and saw the pizza you were eating. I was like, fuck, I'm eating, and I'm like, I'm eating romaine salad at this point. It looks absolutely delicious. But yeah, I think I was just kind of handing you a fuck you at that point. When
say it to me. Don't just say it with your eyes or your mind. You need to text me back and just say fuck you, because that's how. Just being honest, my best friends that are guys, that's how we talk to each other. We just say fuck you. So I'm giving you the. I'm giving you the go ahead. You will not offend me if you text me back and say fuck you when I send you a picture of a great pizza. You know. So anybody that wants to go watch this, it's called One Bite Pizza Reviews. You should go watch it. I mean, all weekend. I started watching it, and now I love this guy. I didn't even like him before. I love this guy, and I couldn't turn them off. And Professor Bam will tell you next time you talk to her, just say, what's going on with B Money in the pizza reviews? And she'll laugh. She'll be like, he's watching that shit all weekend. I just couldn't turn it off. I just couldn't wait to see what the next place would be. Is the crust going to be crispy? Are they going to cook it right? And then the best ones are the ones where they tell them to go fuck himself and stuff. Like, I sent you one where Jack's Pizza is like a frozen pizza brand. I'm going to post that in the comments, but it's really funny. And this dude gets so mad at this company. It's a hate watch. You have to watch it, Because this guy's so mad and he's trying to like be professional. It's really funny. So when we're done with this pod, you gotta watch the pizza review. I'm telling you. Got it.
I definitely will. I don't know. Well, and then again, I'm sure you're gonna call me out on this. Now as I'm starting to say it, I know you're gonna tell me no. When I was growing up, and which I still get, is from Sofo down in Ohio. They have a location where you can actually make your own pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they have the dough already prepared and different kind of cheese mixes and everything else. And you can actually do it at home on your own pizza stone. And now as I'm saying it, I'm now regretting saying that because I don't know if your family ever did homemade pizzas when you were growing up.
No, the thing is, like I said, if anyone was listening to this pod about an hour ago, we're cut from the same cloth, but your cloth is up. It's made out of golden thread. It's at the top of the shirt.
Well,
mine's down by the ass crack. You know, you were taking the golf lessons. I was taken out to the back of the farm to crawl through the shit pond to go save a baby cow. Buck, get in there and go save that cow. It fell in the shit pond. I've literally swam in a pond of shit. Okay? You were over there with your brick ovens cooking, and your servant was cooking your pizza for you. In your Victorian home. You were in your Victorian home, and you were like, can you have the servant cook up a pizza pie in the brick oven? Have we ordered it in from Italy? Have the supplies arrived, Mother? And she's like, yes, Gibby. We'll get that done for you right away. The Queen of England is on the line to discuss your homework. Yep.
Oh my God, if my mom, just a side point, her mom sounds nothing like that, and I would really love, because she is pretty hardcore, like, small town kind of a woman who's like a little brash at times.
Mm-hmm.
It would be amazing if she came out with like a southern accent. Or, sorry, British accent, not southern accent. Oh, where's the high tea with our pizza?
It's going to cost an arm and a leg for our Victorian home. Yeah, so we did grow up, you did grow up in a small town in a Victorian home. You and Tiger Woods got golf lessons together, no big deal. I came from the middle of from the wilderness in the woods where we had to take a bus to another bus to get to the city, which was like 30 miles away, the nearest food or anything, you know? Where like you can like jump one exit down on the highway. You're like in between two cities. That's kind of why you got it good. You live in this tiny little like beautiful all-American town.
I will say though,
yeah.
My parents let me walk to school in elementary school and middle school, and that was during the white van pandemic where I had to walk a couple blocks to the school. Mm-hmm. And I had to inside before they let me in because my parents made me walk to school 3 blocks, which I don't think any child now knows.
School was 3 blocks because that's the elementary school. The elementary school was not far from where you grew up, right? And how far were you from the football field? You were right across the street from the football field, right? And the baseball diamonds and stuff. What was right across the street?
Are a different area.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So where I grew up at, it was a straight line to go straight to.
Right to the school. You was right to the school. That's cool, man. Well, you know what? You're very lucky.
I was allowed, and I don't think kids are allowed at this point anymore, in 4th grade, because it was only, and I know people might get upset about this, but in fourth grade, I was old enough, and I walked to school by myself, and it was 3 blocks, and maybe a little bit more, 4 blocks, 3 blocks, and I walked to school by myself.
Good. Well, it was a different world. We did too. I did too. I walked to school. And also, we were making flamethrowers and shit back at 4th grade. We were doing bad things, crazy shit that parents never knew. Wrapping up newspapers, tying them to the end of a Raid can, lighting the end of the newspaper and spraying the Raid can. It makes a huge flamethrower. You can burn down a house quick. You know?
You know what's really, really, really weird? While you say that, there was no names at all.
Yeah, no name.
And I was in middle school. So it was 2 boys that I went to, or now men, who I went to school with, who actually went and put firecrackers into people's mailboxes.
Those little bastards.
Nothing happened. They went and did that, and nothing happened during that time.
Wow.
It was boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Blowing up mailboxes. No names.
I remember that concretely because in 4th grade, I felt like I would, it was kind of a thing, and it was something that it was pushed under at that point, because it was we were 9 or 10 years old. Yeah, that was it's a crazy time. If you go back to the time that we were that old, things that happened, because I even remember, because this also talks about somebody that we are friends with, when after Columbine happened, when we were in middle school, individual in my middle school wrote a list and put one of our mutual friends that we know had an actual list and put that person on it. I was way lower down. I wasn't cool enough at that time. But one of our friends was put at the top of that list of them.
Gonna take them out.
Yeah, take them out.
A boy or a girl? A boy or a girl was on the top. Boy or girl?
Yep, during that time.
Can you say, hold on, can you say, was that person a boy or a girl? Because I'm friends with boys and girls.
It was a girl.
A girl that we know mutually was at the top of the Columbine kill list at the school. Not in Columbine, but at the similar. It's the similar kill. It's like a Columbine list made it at your school, and the person we know was at the top of it.
Yeah, when we were in middle school.
Holy shnikes!
That person didn't, and that's kind of weird now, looking at how much of our cancel culture is and how much we react to stuff.
Yeah.
But back then, really automatic, those were real threats. And that individual made that list and put these people on it, and then they were allowed to still hang out with us and still interact. And he came back to school, I think, a year later after he made it his kill list, after we were in 6th grade. It was pretty daunting.
I did not know this. I never heard about this. No one's ever mentioned this ever. This is crazy.
Yeah. So in 6th grade, an individual who me and your mutual friend were in school with.
What does the first initial of the name start with? Can you say that? You don't have to say a name.
Our friend, or...
Yeah, our friend. What's the first initial of their name? Okay. What is the second initial of the first name? Not saying anything else after that.
E.
Oh, get out of here. Okay. Got it. Thank you.
So when we were in middle school, there was an individual who we were with who, it was really, really crazy. He actually, I don't know if it was 6th or 7th grade, so I don't want to go back on that. But he actually, it was a big thing after that. He actually had a list of people that he wanted to kill. And the person that I read about, she was one of, she was the first person on that list.
Now we know why.
Anyway.
This is the guy that contacted you on social media. The kill list guy.
No, it was a different, not the same person.
Okay, not the same one. Okay. You went to school with some crazy motherfuckers, Gibby.
What?
You went to school with some crazy motherfuckers.
That's what happens at times. So,
Jeez.
yeah, he ended up being able to, and again, this is why first he was able to, he had to go to like a special school and whatnot after that because things aren't as great as they are now about realizing that people are psychopaths. But he had a list, and I remember it was 6th grade because we had shop class, and one of that individual that I spoke about was on that, and I'm sure she can verify that if you speak with her. But he
I will
have a list for a middle school.
I speak with her often. I'm going to ask about this.
Number 1 on it.
Wow.
Number 1 or number 2.
That's fucking crazy. Never knew this.
Yeah,
I never knew this.
Yeah.
And she knows it. She
Second.
was told. She was told you were number 1 on this kill list.
Yeah.
Damn. Fuck.
You can ask her about it. If it's something that if she doesn't remember, but yeah, it was. I'm sure she definitely remembers that. It was.
Oh, I would never forget it.
That. But no, it was crazy, and we were in a shop class during those certain things. But he had a list. And he had.
How'd they find it? How did they find it? How did it all come about? Who told on who? This could be its own TV movie. It could. It could be a made-for-TV movie. This story you're telling me. So really think about that as you tell me as you unleash the details.
The person that we're talking about may remember it a little better because it would have affected that person a lot more.
Yeah.
I just remember it was a huge issue, and it was after, of course, all this different kind of school shootings, and he had a list. And it was like he had to leave, but he had a list of people that he had.
Did they take him to juvie or something? Did he get sent away to a home, or what ended up happening?
He went to a different school. So I think he got sent, and now I wish I wouldn't have brought this up during this.
Don't say school names. Don't say school names.
Our podcast cannot be 5 hours long.
Yeah.
But it was something that was definitely brought up, and he had that individual that we both know as number 1, and a couple other people that we were in the same grade with.
Well, that's scary. That's so scary.
He went to a special school, and it was a big thing. It was a big thing.
Speaking of shootings, are you thinking of? Speaking of shootings and shifting gears, are you thinking of getting yourself a good pillow?
I've actually signed up to be on the notice of when I can get a good pillow.
I knew you would.
And
I knew you would. We're in the 20% now where we don't disagree. We're into that realm, or where we disagree. So we agree on 80%. Right now we're like drifting our little boat over into the rough waters where we don't agree.
Yeah.
Where
I'm not jumping into actually the good pillow situation.
Yeah.
I already have nice pillows. I don't have any pillows. I personally like to go for a Ralph Lauren pillow or a pillow I find at Home Goods.
Yeah.
That I like.
Those are the best.
So I am not going into either Mr. Pillow or any of that kind of stuff.
You need a My Pillow from Mike Lindell. My Pillows are machine washable and dryable, made in the USA. I want to see what good pillows made, probably in China. Remember we were having, I'm not going to say it on this pod because I don't want to, I know the last time I said something bad about that kid, and I was like, he's 18, I can say anything I want, and you didn't like it, so I'm going to be really respectful. I'm not going to call him a little rat-faced bastard or anything, you know. I'm going to say, I understand the brevity of what happened. He was in a bad situation, but, I was going to bring it up to you, not on the pod, but like the next time we talked. The kids are mad at him for doing the good pillow thing.
Bring that up.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids are mad at him. The other kids that are doing the Stoneman Douglas, the charity thing that they're doing.
March for Our Life.
Yeah, they're mad at him for doing the good pillow and like doing it right on the anniversary. They're like freaking out at him about it. I'm not mad at him for that. That makes good business sense.
I haven't actually, and I'm actually upset about that, and I think it's maybe because I've been obsessed with this Kardashian stuff. I haven't been as great about those kind of stories to be able to counter about.
Mm-hmm.
I would think, I mean, I really haven't looked into Good Pillow at all. I saw just like the tweet on it. I know it's a thing, and it's the counter kind of thing, and it's gonna be something.
I put in a thing in my brain every time I see something on it. I'm like, I need to buy more ammo for all my guns. Every time I see good pillow, ammo is what goes off in my mind. More ammunition, bit larger magazines for the guns, more guns. You know what I mean?
To do what?
To protect my home. Yep. A gun in every corner, leaned up against each wall. That's what I like to see in my house.
Just guns. So are you going to be like Lauren Bogut, where it's like just guns on? Did you see her picture of like a corkboard with like guns against it?
No.
Which is like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
No. I didn't. I would love to, though.
Yeah, she sent a video where it's basically like a corkboard where she put her multiple guns against while she speaks.
I like that.
It was very, very funny.
Oh, that's nice. I see all kinds of stuff.
Corkboard aesthetic is good.
I see things sometimes, like in the middle of the night, where I'm like, where we could talk about it. There was one, what's that Taylor Greene woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, that you like so much? Is that her name, Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I hate her. So it's not.
You said I hate her. So there was there's a news story where the girl across the hall from her brought out a transvestite flag.
Okay.
Do you know this story?
Yeah, you can tell it to everyone.
So the girl brought out this, and I love the colors. It's some of my favorite colors. It's like It's like the color of my wall blue. It's like a really pretty bright blue and like a pink. It's like cotton candy. It's like a cotton candy flag. And I guess it's the trans... I hope I'm saying this right. Transsexual transvestite flag. I don't know. Can you correct me, Gibby? What's it called?
Just the
What's the right way to say this? The trans flag, right?
transgender flag.
Transgender flag. Okay. So the transgender flag, and she put it up, and she went. Did you hear that on the pod? Where she like brushed her hands off. She stuck the flag up so that every time Marjorie Taylor Greene comes out of her office, she's going to look at that trans flag. And the reason I understand that Marjorie Taylor Greene, and I get it, she didn't want to vote for the Equality Act or whatever it's called, was because it lets transgender or sex change people, like men, beat the shit out of girls in girls wrestling. They kill them. I've seen it happen. They choke them, they kill them. They shouldn't be wrestling girls, even if you've had a sex change. And they also win all the track, like they're setting all the records in track. They're beating girls at powerlifting. It's really crazy. So I understand that point of view. But so anyway, so Marjorie Taylor Greene, Gibby's favorite politician, comes out then and she does her own video. So this girl does where she claps her hands, she sticks the trans flag in, and it's really pretty. I love the flag. And then she goes and like brushes her hands off. And then the next day, Marjorie Taylor Greene comes out and does her own video, and it shows the video of her like pressing this sign up, and it says, what the hell did it say? It's like, there are two genders. The science is settled.
There are only two genders, male and female.
The science is settled. So she puts it up on the board, on the wall, and then she does the same thing with her hands. Oh, and she puts a American flag. So she's got the American flag, and then, because there's the trans flag on this side and the American flag on this side, and then she puts up this goofy sign that says, say it again, what did it say? You know.
It says male and female are the only two genders, which actually...
The science is settled, right? The science is settled, because that's something the left likes to say to the right, is the science is settled. It's true. It's something they say. So you go. What were you saying right there?
So, I mean, it's her counteractive thing. She is so outrageous.
You love her.
She is... I mean, she's already been stripped of her community. Is like her count is like out of any committees. Sorry.
Now she's not in the education committee anymore?
Out of she's stripped of all of her committees.
I didn't know that. That actually happened? I didn't know they actually did it.
Yep, they did it. The Democrat that is now running against her has already started the campaign against her, and he is a Marine veteran.
Yeah.
He's a Democrat, and he is Republican leaning, pretty much.
Oh.
So it would be a win for the Democrats because he leans...
Well, we know he'll win. The Democrats will always win. They're much smarter. The Democrats are smarter. They know how to say the better things. The Republicans are greedy. They were after money. They do not connect well with the people. The only one that connected was Trump. The rest of the Republicans don't connect well. They're old. They're stale. They care only about money. They don't do any good changes. They don't listen to the people. Trump wanted to send us $2,000 checks. The Republicans are idiots, and they sent us like $600 checks. What idiots? I was more sickened over the past few months with Republicans than Democrats, if you can believe that. As a middle person, I had been leaning more right a little bit, just because of, I supported the president. I didn't support most of the Republicans, but recently, especially when they did that, we're in this pandemic, and you fucked over all these people that are totally fucked right now. Their businesses are closed. They're out of jobs, and you sent them $600. Thanks, asshole.
And you're blocking that. And it's like, it is something that I'm extremely upset about because I know a lot of, and this is going to be me coming from where I work at and who I work with.
Yep.
And a lot of the people that people are upset about that can receive the stimulus are people that are receiving Social Security, and they don't feel that they should have that. Really, I'm going to say a huge fuck you.
Yep.
Because these people receiving an additional $1,400 is going to make sure that they have funeral plans in order.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of us asking for the state or the country, or like the U.S., like the federal government, to help cover for these funeral plans for people.
I want to say,
where we can actually pay for those things.
Also, people that are on that, people that get SSI or Social Security or even disability, some of these people also have jobs where they make additional income. They're allowed to make up to a certain amount, even like Walmart greeters, people that have disabilities, people that are elder, but they want to work a little. They've lost their jobs and they don't have additional money. And maybe that what they're getting isn't enough. I say fuck you too. That made me so mad. Cocaine Mitch is fucking up. I don't like him. And the rest of them, there's some that are good, and there's some on both sides that are good. To me, the whole thing is a fuckery. I don't like any of it. Politics is garbage.
It's a huge fuckery for the people who are disabled in our community need to have a voice. And it is so hard to get. So I will give an example if people want to hear it. And I know we're getting very late in this podcast. And
we're okay. We're going to shut it off within. We have to stop it before 11. I have to shut it off before 11. So we got 20 minutes. You're fine. Talk whatever you want. We're good.
So my huge part of there is a huge population that are in the U.S. who make only $783 a month.
Yep.
Majority of it goes to their rent. 30% if they're lucky, but a majority of them, for even low-income housing, if you're not on a wait list, you are paying 40 to 50%. A majority of places in the area of Michigan and different places throughout the U.S. have 40% or 50% of their income going just to their rent, and this is out of $780.
Then they all got $350. They got $350 to live on, and then they got a food card. But even that's like $150, right, at the max.
And food cards are being sliced now. So food cards, even though some people get $160, some people get something like that. But they have utilities after that. They have so many other, that's personal spending.
Yep.
So after that.
I think it should be a little more than.
Think about what.
My brother actually gets $780. My brother has a disability. And he's living on that exact amount. That's what he gets. And it's not very much. And if he didn't have help from my mom and also I help out, I don't know. You know, if it was just him, how do you live on that? Even that with a food card is very little. Most people make that in a week. You know? It's very hard. I don't know how you do it.
Exactly. And to spend on groceries for you to go forward on. And with bridge cards and or FAST, if it matters what it's categorized on, that's not enough money for people to actually sustain on. It is, I know we think, oh, they get $200 for groceries, they get $150 for groceries. Think about what the fuck you spend on groceries.
That's a week. That's a week for me.
Buy food.
Maybe 2. That's either 1 or 2 weeks for Professor Bam and I. That might only be a week sometimes. So like you got to really make it stretch. If we had to do $150, we would have to really write it out. You'd have to be getting chicken breasts, like bulk beans, bulk rice, to be able to make it stretch and feed your family, you know?
Yeah, and this is for individuals who have to take the bus. So I know for our clients, we provide try to do bus passes through that, but that's additional cost for other people in our community for them to go out. They can't go out and buy a month's worth of groceries. They have to go out every so often and do what they have to carry to get back home.
That's why they go,
hard.
they shop little by little. They go to Dollar General and they get the things that are cheap, and sometimes, or the small bits of things.
But the money, Dollar General does a hike-up. So it's like those items are not the same you would get if they were able to go to a regular grocery store.
And do a bulk, and if you could buy bulk. And when you buy little things, you pay more. You think you're saving, I only spent $30. Yeah, but you didn't get very much. You got little things.
Yeah, and same in even with Dollar Tree and whatnot, they provide really great things, but that food is very limited, it's high in calories, and it's not okay.
Yep.
And I think we really all have to look at how much money we're giving to people who actually need it. It's horrible for them to go shopping. And if you put $150 for your month for shopping for milk, eggs, every single, and then also you can't carry all of that at that one point. So you're having to do multiple trips on the bus.
I think it should at least be $1,200. I think $783 is too low. I think it needs to be raised to $1,200, and I think that the food card should be double. It should be $300.
Well, and it just keeps on going down. And I will tell
what do you
that,
think of that? I mean, what does that sound like, though? I think that's doable. I think if you had $1,200 with a double the food card, that's a livable. You can live on that.
You can, exactly. I think that we shouldn't expect individuals. So when I brought this up about increasing that amount with DHHS, they told me, they were like, well, there's other avenues. I was like, but so then we're expecting these people who are lower income to go to these food pantries that they can't go to, that it could take them, it's roaming throughout our county, roaming throughout everywhere. It's sad that if we have to rely on churches and food banks to feed people, it's a ridiculous thing to do.
We shouldn't have to. It's good that they're doing that. They should be a filler. They shouldn't be the ones counted on to feed these people. They shouldn't.
No, because those resources run out. But also the fact is that it's sad. It's just a very sad thing that we are becoming complacent on food banks. We're being complacent on GoFundMes. We're being complacent on those kind of things when that shouldn't be that way. It really should be.
We have a comment.
We can't.
People with disabilities have a hard time getting out to food banks a town or two away. That's what the comment says. People with disabilities have a hard time getting out to food banks a town or two towns away. That's hard. If you have a disability to get out to, how do you even do it? You have to take a bus to a food pantry?
No, they can't. And the county that I'm talking about, there's no busing system. So literally they have to wait until that service comes into that area, and then they have to wait in line for those certain items. But if they're not able to get there, they don't get those items.
Yep.
They don't get those food bank items. It's very, very sad. It's really, to me, kind of, and I know I joke with, like, Kardashians and all that kind of stuff, but it breaks my heart. The fact is that there are individuals who don't have food, or not. I mean, they have food during this time,
but it's unhealthy food too, and they may be overweight because they're eating junk. They may be overweight because they're eating McDonald's, the value menu, and they're eating junk from the grocery store, the dollar candy bars.
They're not eating from those kind of places. They're eating junk from having to go to party stores in their areas because there's not grocery stores that are closed.
Yep.
So it's like...
That is one good thing about the DG. The DGs are moving in all around the country, and they have a plan where they're putting, and it's happening even in the little town in Michigan where we bought our place. They've just put in 2 new DGs, which if you've been in them lately, they do have a lot of, there's things people can buy that's grocery items that are in line with a Walmart price. So you can get like frozen meals, you can get some healthy stuff, not the best, but some healthy stuff. That's a good step. That's more of what we need. We need to get people where they have the ability to get at groceries, not just a convenience store with their food card.
Yeah, and that is something that I am very strong against, or strong for. Sorry, not strong against. I am strong against the stigma against people using food cards and that not being used, because there are multiple stores that say they will not take bridge cards.
Really?
Not take. Yeah, there are.
Who's that? Who doesn't take a bridge card?
There's multiple convenience stores in Monroe that it's literally right in front that says we do not take bridge cards.
Get the fuck out of here. That's asinine.
I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
We got some comments. We got comments. One DG near me has fresh produce now. Yeah. You go ahead, sorry.
I went into one that is over in the east end of this area, which is this was a couple months ago, 2 months ago, and they're like, well, we don't want those people in here.
That's stupid.
When I asked them, I was like, okay, I'm like, well, I'm using, because my client told me they felt uncomfortable going in there. And I was like, I'll take your bridge card in there.
Weird.
I feel comfortable doing that because of using their card, because I'm the guardian, and therefore I can use that card. And
I wouldn't feel bad using it. Take my money, bitch. How do you know that for 30 years before this, I didn't fucking pay insane amounts of taxes and everything before I got to this point? You don't know. You don't know what I did in my life. I paid more money than you ever will. You don't know if I did or didn't. How can you say, don't use my card? How can you say I'm not you know what, if I'm disabled, if I'm ever disabled, I will feel nothing. Nothing bad. I will get my $783 in my card and I will go use it. And if you have something to say, fuck you. That's what I have to say. Yep.
Well, that is my whole point. And I went there and I was sugary until I had to be salty.
Yeah. They didn't want to take it, huh? They didn't want to take the card?
Oh, no, they ended up taking it, and then I ended up, but again, because I'm a white woman who went in there and caused a stink about it, I was able to change around that one interaction.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
So you think because you were white they did it, but your client was a different race, and they didn't feel comfortable going with their card, and you think they would not have bent for them to do it. They would have said, we don't accept
They were
that.
not beforehand.
That's fucked up.
And I had to get in there because I didn't think that institution, that grocery store was able to do that. And as you know, I get very hot about people not being treated correctly. So I went in there myself, and as you've already stated, I'm an entitled white woman, and I can come in pretty hot.
Yeah.
So I changed around the narrative.
Yeah.
But also, I only changed that narrative around that one person, where I was like, no. I'm like, you have, and I'm like, no, he.
And it's an actual grocery store that you went to? They sold produce, they sold milk. I'm getting a comment. We have a couple comments. So the comments were, someone said, the DG near us has fresh produce. They have to carry it in order to accept bridge cards, milk, frozen foods, etc. And then they said a lot of convenience stores don't qualify to accept bridge cards. Was this a convenience store or was it a food grocery store?
Are we becoming popular?
I don't know.
Sorry.
No, we're not popular. We have fans. It's just some of the fans. No big deal. There's a lot of comments about this, saying this to you. So, was it a food store, like a grocery type store that had milk and produce and stuff?
No, it was. I will say it was a convenience/grocery store. So
okay, this person says they say that a lot of convenience stores don't qualify to accept the bridge cards because they don't have the produce, the milk, and the frozen section. So that could be why.
They had that there.
Okay. They're just being assholes.
So there was cheese there was frozen meals there, so there was different options within same place. So convenience store that still was providing all those options.
Okay.
So they even had bananas, and it was a very not.
Banana sounds so good.
Like anything that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for doing that, Gibby. You're always standing up for people. That's one thing as my friend, I'm super proud of you for the things you do for others. Okay? You've done it for so long, and I'm proud of you. And you have the hardest job you do. But the things that you like, that part of your job where you get to put it right for people, make things right, I'm so proud of you. Yep, really cool.
Well, thank you so much. But
it's just your job. You say, just doing my job. Just doing like Superman.
Yep,
just doing my job.
Again, I'm just doing my job, and it's something that I enjoy, and I like giving back. I think it's just something that I like to do, and I feel that's kind of what I meant to do in a weird way.
Yep. You're meant to help people. For sure.
I like to help people.
Yep.
Other than at parties inside of my homes when I was growing up, and everything else. But it's just always one of the things. I just always want to help other people, and I know sometimes it could be skewed for something else, but that's just something that.
Well, you're amazing. You're amazing.
Other people, and I know other people might look at other things. I probably won't be sharing as much information about my work life at all.
You don't have to
anymore.
Yeah, you don't have to share anything. But the little bits that you gave today, this, just so you know too, this was a great podcast. I think it's an A plus. I think we had a fantastic conversation. I think the bits that you did get to share were really important. I think anyone who does listen should really go back to the beginning and listen to what Gibby said about contacting your insurance company and asking them about incentives or anything else that they can do. Listen to the way she worded it. She's smart. And she's helping her clients. And you guys, anyone listening, all the fans and anyone you share this to, should take advantage of that knowledge that she imparted upon you. This is what she does for a job. She helps people. And she's really smart. She went to one of the top 50 colleges in the country for undergraduate. She is a smart cookie. And listen to her. And when she tells you how to do that, go do it. I'm going to do it. I'll do it, and I'm going to let you guys know on the pod. Does it work? Or it might not work for everybody, but it's worth a try, and you'll never know unless you try. Right? So, I mean...
You really don't. Just try and just see.
Yep, and I think that that's so important. So, you don't have to, like on our pods, we can just talk about Kardashians or whatever. We don't have to go into depth ever about your job or any kind of details. But I think the little things that you shared today were so important, and you let us see just a glimpse of what you do, and it is going to help so many people. And then right here, so you did that at the beginning, helping with their insurance, and then at the end, it's just good to know, I mean, that you stood up for that person. And it's good to talk about things like that. And look, I thought we were going to be on the opposite side, and we came right together again, and we're in agreement. I think it should be 1,200, not 783. I think it should be 300, not 150. Right? So, I mean, we can agree there. And Gibby and I worked for... Yep, you go, sorry.
I really do think that we have to really look at the stimulus check and to really look at how much money that people should make and what people should get.
Yep. Go back to the Trump plan of 2,000. Listen, cut the thing. Only send it to people who make families under 70,000 or individuals under 55,000, something like that.
They want to cut it down, which I don't get. It's like it's.
What are the numbers they want to cut it to? Like, well, let's see. Is it anything? Does it make sense? Who do they want to send it to? I would rather have the people with less get more money. Like, bump it up to like $2,500 and send it to single people under 40,000 or 45,000 and families under 65,000. Is that fair? And anybody that's unemployed, even if they made more than that a year ago.
I think I agree with that. I think that not $250,000 a year. I think
no, not $250,000. $2,500 instead of $1,400 or whatever. I would want to send more money to people who make less. You know what I mean?
Honestly, yes. I think it should be kept up, and I don't make crap, and I know you made all these jokes about I came from a ton of money and stuff like that.
You do an altruistic job. It's everyone who listens to this can hear that you're honestly doing an altruistic job. You're doing work to help people. You're literally an angel on earth, helping people.
No,
we understand. They hear it.
At all. I don't want to be at all described as that.
I think you are.
Every single other person could do.
Mm-hmm.
I know you like it's something that just helping your fellow American.
Yep.
At this point, it's something that has to happen. But I really think this next stimulus check, we can help make sure that getting people their funeral plans. There's multiple people who have passed away during during this time that their family can't even afford to do cremation. Thankfully, who I work with, and this is my final plea.
Yep.
Multiple people who have tried to do cremation for the family have not been able to afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And able to do those costs. So those bodies are sitting there, and they can't pick them up until they pay for those fees. Even so, that's not for my guardian agency, but I've heard that from
other places too.
From other places. It's a sad state, and I think if we can all come together as just trying to get the stimulus together, just passing any kind of bill. I know it sounds weird to be like, we're going to give $1,200 to people in nursing homes, but also a lot of these people do not have full funeral home situations.
They don't.
So I don't think people realize the fact is that to be cremated is extremely expensive. It's the cheapest place in Michigan is $895 to be cremated.
Wow.
If you want to have, that's just for general cremation. If you want
Is that cremation in like a Folgers can with your own utensil?
Yeah.
That's like the Big Lebowski cremation in a coffee can.
You'll be put into a box at that point.
Yeah.
And it's a box.
Huh.
And that is it. You don't have an urn. You don't have anything. Funeral costs are going up so much in the state, and I think that is something that we can talk about next week.
Mm-hmm.
We can touch on it as we talk about other things that funeral costs.
Yeah, when we do these on Thursdays, you come to the table. I think it makes it super interesting. You bring whatever you want to talk about. We had a fantastic podcast today. It was so good. We're like toning it down now. We're coming to the end of it, but you did great. Thank you so much. You helped me. Anyone who listens to this is going to hear what you've said to help. You did. You've said some really helpful things. We had a lot of fun too. We had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had a lot. So, definitely. I'm thinking next week we can talk about. I talk about funeral plan stuff.
Yeah, I'll title it Funeral Plan Podcast.
To talk about Kardashian stuff, and then we also will be talking about. I haven't even talked to you about any of the other random, funny news stuff.
I'm sure you and I are going to talk about it before next Thursday, but we will definitely plan some good shit for the pod. And sometimes it might be the 2 hours, and we're right at the max of what I can do each day right now. It's been a fantastic, beautiful podcast. I've learned a lot of stuff. Gibby, you taught me a ton of shit today. Thank you so much. And anyone who's listening, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for all the comments. We got a ton of comments on this pod, a ton of likes already.
I looked at all of the comments as well.
Yeah. We have a ton of comments. We have a ton of likes, and I don't know how many people listen, but if you guys have friends, anyone would do well. If you don't listen to this pod, any of it, except the first 20 minutes, you should share this to somebody, to anyone, to everyone. Just say, listen to the first 20 minutes, listen to Gibby talk about incentives with your health insurance. It's so important. It's like the most important thing I've heard, because I heard it from my elderly father on Tuesday watching Oak Island the other day, and I was like, that's weird. And now I'm hearing it again from one of the smartest girls I know. I mean, this is a real thing, and she tells you how to do it in this pod. So share it to your friends and tell them, call your insurance, see what you can get. If they're going to send you $500 cards every few months, or if they're going to give you food cards or gym memberships or whatever the hell they're doing, It's really worth a phone call. What the hell else are you doing? It's COVID. You're sitting at home watching pizza reviews all weekend.
Call, yeah, call and get those cards, and you can spend them
Yep.
on different kind of things, and just make sure that your insurance is giving you the best options possible. So if you are on Medicaid, Medicare, see if you can get on Humana, and I will see. I'll talk with. I will talk and see if I can actually link my Humana contact.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I probably will not be able.
You don't have to do that, but I mean, just you saying that, they can look into it.
At
Yeah.
all. So, but if you call Humana, if you are Medicaid, Medicare, if you contact Humana, you can get additional benefits.
Cool.
And to make sure that you are on the right plan so you can get those sort of things.
Or if you have
Because they
family
are-
members, if you're listening and you're not on this, but you have like an elder family member, like I'm going to talk to my dad and say, Dad, who's yours through? Because my friend said this. You should look into this. So do that too. Tell your grandma who's in a home. Tell your elder parents.
So Humana is really, really easy to connect into for elderly family members. You just have to contact into them, along with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Humana does do, when you do Obamacare,
Good.
to do the subset. So there's a lot of different options. So please check them out, and please do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of resources out there that
Yep.
I don't think a lot of people are connecting to.
Nope, and that's why we're having this. Honestly, the rest of the pod was amazing. I loved our conversation. It was an A+. I think it was really fun. It was fun to talk. We always have fun. But I think just that part of this pod is literally the most important thing for anyone who you know. Anyone who's listening, anyone, send this to them. Tell them, because I didn't know this. It's like turning a light bulb on. You said it. My dad said it. That means we need to do it. All of us need to do it and see what can happen. See if you can get some additional benefits. And we'll keep talking about some of these subjects weekly. Every Thursday.
I will say even if you have generic Medicaid,
Yep.
so Meridian, any of those other places, you can ask them to see what they are providing, because they might provide these gift cards. They might actually provide additional services
Mm-hmm.
and help you. So call your insurance agencies.
That's what this pod's all about. That's a big takeaway from this podcast. You learned a ton from Gibby. She taught us all. Do what she said. So with that, we are going to close down the B Money pod starring Gibby. She did amazing today. And you can come back. She'll be on each Thursday. And we're planning from 8 to 10. And we have a max overflow because I got to shut it off by 11. So sometimes we could go to 11. Usually it's going to be 8 to 10. But we have, this is...
Yep,
we have
it'll be fine from now on.
Yeah. So we're going to do 8 to 10 if we can. But if we have... Like today was an amazing... If there's a day where we're just talking, we can go to now. So this was amazing. Thank you, Gibby. You stay on the phone, Gibby. I'm going to shut down this pod. Be Money number 30 is in the books. And we out. We'll see you guys tomorrow.